It's been 20 years since Smarty Jones emerged from the backstretch here to run into the hearts of racing fans across America. 10 years since California Chrome came across the country to pack the track and give the Pennsylvania Derby national credibility. As Keystone Philadelphia Park, Parks Racing celebrates its 50th anniversary. The memories come flooding back of legends like Spectacular Bid, one of the Hall of Fame horses to have won stakes here. The Great Bid dominating the 1978 Heritage Stakes in the final start of his 2-year-old campaign. 3 Cotillion winners, including My Juliet, stabled right here. The wonderful Ashado and the brilliant Songbird, all Hall of Famers. So many great chapters. We're about to add one more to the half-century-old book of this Pennsylvania Derby Day. The star of the show being a perfectly named filly, Torpedo Anna.
Fierceness! Torpedo Anna in an absolutely dramatic conclusion!
Who may be herself on the way to the Hall of Fame. And her stage, it's set. Live look, Parks Casino and Racing in Bensalem, PA. Picture perfect last day of summer in the Commonwealth. As for the crowd, they always turn up for Pennsylvania Derby Saturday. And with a filly like Torpedo Anna in the mix, everything gets cranked up a notch or two. So much to look forward to. The rundown 3 races, fast sprinters in the Gallant Bob, then the first of $2 million events, the Cotillion, featuring Torpedo Anna, and finally, 44th running of the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. Just outside the paddock, alongside the co-host of Let's Go Racing, Dick Girardi, I'm Lafitte Pinkai. Dick, is it me, or is it about 40 degrees warmer today than it was the last time we covered this event?
Lafitte, I remember the last 5 minutes of the show last year, and you just said, "Please, can I please go back to Los Angeles?" Like now, yeah, we're plus 40. It's 80 degrees today and perfect after the nor'easter we've experienced last year.
Guilty as charged. Yeah, pristine conditions for this Pennsylvania Derby Saturday. The stars are here. We'll have much more on Torpedo Anna throughout the broadcast, Dick, but the main event is the Pennsylvania Derby. Yes, it's a Grade 1. Yes, there's $1 million purse, but aside from that, what makes this such an important horse race?
It's the final Grade 1 for 3-year-olds, straight 3-year-olds. Big prep for the Breeders' Cup for any 3-year-olds. And Lafitte, you just alluded to it in the open. 10 years ago, California Chrome came here. And when he came here, that made the Pennsylvania Derby. To have a great horse like that, another Hall of Fame horse. He didn't win, but he did run here. And that made the race. And I think it gave it the credibility it needed for trainers from all over the place to come in here. Bob Baffert has won this regularly since then. So, yeah, it was the California Chrome kind of changed everything.
He won a Derby. He won a Preakness. Those are classic races. We have a classic winner in this year's field. Here are the 3-year-olds running in the 1 1/8 Pennsylvania Derby. 11 strong 3-year-olds, just like the Triple Crown. Number 2, Seize the Gray. He is the Preakness winner, but not the favorite. That distinction belongs to Dragoon Guard, number 7, 9-5 on the morning line, coming in hot, having won 4 straight. And on the far outside, number 11, Stronghold, second choice, California Invader, Santa Anita Derby winner. But focusing on the morning line favorite, Dragoon Guard, in from Kentucky, Dick. He hasn't won any Triple Crown races, right? So why is he the Pennsylvania Derby favorite?
People love ones, Lafitte. They like horses that win a lot. This horse lost his first start by a neck. He's won his last 4. That's the one that jumps off the page. But the issue he's having today, he's only gotten to a 91 Beyer his last 3 starts. He's going to have to go much higher to win the Pennsylvania Derby. It's probably going to take a high 90, maybe even 100 to win.
For Dragoon Guard, the impeccable pedigree, the connections, Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, having won last year with Saudi Crown. What has, like you mentioned, he does have to step it up.
Yes.
But what has impressed you the most during this 4-race?
Early speed and the ability to sustain it for a distance of ground. And even when you watch the end of his races, it doesn't particularly look like he's getting tired. It's not like he's coming back to the field. So that part is impressive. The question is he going to be able to do it with some heat? Because there's going to be some heat. There's other speed horses. You mentioned Seize the Gray. How did he win the Preakness? Loose on the lead and gone. They're going from the inside post. There isn't any question. You have other horses equally fast. So that Dragoon Guard, can he deal with other horses with similar kind of speed?
Trainer Brad Cox, Florent Giroux trying to go back-to-back as Bob Baffert and Mike Smith did back in 2017 and 18, back-to-back winners of the Pennsylvania Derby. Then about 50 minutes prior to the Pennsylvania Derby, the second, well, the first actually, of our Grade $1 million events. The Cotillion 3-year-old fillies. All eyes on number 6, Torpedo Anna, among the brightest stars in the sport. Odds on 4-5, and rightfully so, as we welcome Maggie Wolfendale to the broadcast. Standing by Maggie, Torpedo Anna, for viewers that only watch a handful of horse races a year. Why should they be so excited to watch this filly Torpedo Anna run today?
Because she's shown so much dominance on the racetrack, Lafitte. She's earned over $2.2 million. She's only a 3-year-old, and she's gone 6 for 8 in her lifetime. Now, last time out, she was defeated just ahead by, none other than the 2-year-old champion Fierceness against the boys in the Grade 1 Travers. Now she's back against her own sex in this Cotillion. We'll see if she's able to flaunt her dominance yet again against these fillies. But it is a spectacular day here in Bensalem. So for more, we'll check in with Danny Gibson and Pat Maniac Malloy.
Thanks. Well, Maniac and I are surrounded by fans who are having so much fun. They came out to see some fast horses, top jockeys, plus the local horses that they watch here all year. It's going to be one of those Philly sports days we'll always remember. How much fun are you having?
If I was having any more fun, they'd have to throw me in the Bensalem jailhouse. I tell you, beautiful racing, beautiful people, beautiful day. It doesn't get much better than this, Danny.
It certainly doesn't. Back to you guys.
Something for everyone at Parks on Pennsylvania Derby Saturday. Stay out of the Bensalem Slammer. Maniac, as our coverage continues, just getting started here at Parks. And one of the major storylines, he is in fact a living legend. Wayne Lucas, 89 years old, still training, still winning at the highest level this spring. A 7th Preakness victory with Seize the Gray, both in Bensalem, with sights set on the Pennsylvania Derby. The Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby is brought to you by Parks Casino and Racing. This is how you win. And by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run. By the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. What a ride. And the Pennsylvania Breeders Association. Pennsylvania is the only place to breed and race. Biggest day of racing every year in the Commonwealth. Welcome back, Parks Racing and Casino. Good crowd on hand. Getting closer to the main events with the Grade 1 Cotillion, 3-year-old fillies featuring Torpedo Anna, and the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby for the boys. The Gallant Bob will be before that for sprinters. And yeah, with a filly like a Torpedo Anna, with her in the mix here, dig a little bit later on. Maggie just explained to our viewers why she's so exciting and what she's done this season now, looking for a 4th Grade 1 victory. This is, in fact, a champion in the making.
Right, she's already the 3-year-old filly champion. Just a question, Lafitte, can she actually be Horse of the Year? That's the issue we're dealing with. And obviously, if she had won that Travers that you all just watched a minute ago, she would be the heavy favorite at the moment. Look, if she wins this race convincingly, then goes to the Breeders' Cup, and Kenny McPeak will decide what race. But it sounds like the distaff.
For now.
Right, for now. And wins that. It's going to be kind of hard to deny her unless some other, like a Fierceness or somebody wins the Classic. Obviously, the Classic is like the Derby. If you win that, that's extra points. But, yeah, I think she's in play. And we mentioned at the top, she's putting together a Hall of Fame, not just season, but resume. And, by the way, so is her trainer, who just happened to win the Derby and the Kentucky Oaks back-to-back
sweep,
days.
along with jockey Brian Hernandez. Much more on that story as we get closer to the Cotillion. But first things first, the Gallant Bob is next. These are also 3-year-olds, but sprinters. Some fast sprinters here. There's the field. Ben Tornado, star jockey Arad Ortiz, 9-5. That is the morning line. Boucherino, a contender going in, and you're going with Ben Tornado this afternoon, yes?
Yeah, and he's come on the board at 3-5.
Well, there you go.
We just got the 24 minutes to post for the Gallant Bob. But yeah, he looked like on paper. I mean, it's a race with a lot of speed. If you look at it, there's 13 ones in this race, meaning ones as in the first call of the race. But this, I think, is the fastest horse of all. And if you look at some of the horses he's been in against, he's dangerous.
Your crew, Dick, standing by.
That's our people.
Always looking out for their man. Gallant Bob coming up next. First, we check in with the Maniac.
What's going on? We're in the Picnic Grove, and I'm with
Joe Wack,
Grace,
and Anthony.
And you guys are a family, right? You said you're a family?
Yeah.
Some sort of family, right? That's what it's all about here at Parks Racing in the Picnic Grove. As you see behind me, It's family, it's fun, it's racing. Joe, how long have you been coming to the Pennsylvania Derby?
About 5 years, I bet. Easy.
Easy?
maybe
Only
longer.
5? I thought it'd be longer than that.
I'm pretty young.
Pretty young, yeah. You've only just gotten, yeah, I got you. How about you, Grace?
It's my first time.
First time.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this atmosphere?
It's
and
different.
Different.
Yeah.
Different than a Phillies game,
Yeah,
different than an Eagles
very
game, but
different.
the vibes are high, right?
Yeah,
It's a
it's
beautiful
very
day.
positive.
Are you placing any wagers?
Yeah, we did a few.
Okay, Anthony?
This is also my first time. We did do a few wagers. We have hit once so far today.
Okay, and it's early. It's early still.
Still early, very early. Got a few more on the books coming later, though.
All right, and you guys are ready for the big one, Torpedo, Anna, and the Cotillion, and then we got the Pennsylvania Derby. We got 11 horses in that field. It's going to be a tremendous day of competitive racing here at Parks, and we're having all the fun, and it's all happening here at the Picnic Grove, right?
Yeah.
It's great.
What do you guys got for your spread? You eating anything good, or?
Brought some stuff, and it got a hot dog here and all. The usual,
The usual.
It's okay.
Easy to please Joe over here, Delco Joe. We'll throw it back to you guys as we get ready for this next one.
We're on till 7, man. Where's our spread?
Yeah, really. We need some food. We're hungry.
Get on it, Maniac.
Come on, Maniac.
Philly sports fan, the passion, they know how to have a good time as we look ahead to the marquee events coming up here at Parks, Pennsylvania Derby Saturday, the Gallant Bob Sprinters when we come back. Welcome back. Parks Casino and Racing. How many people did you tell you like Ben Tornado, Dick?
Everybody I know.
Good God. Odds on 3 to 5 with about 20 minutes to post. 3-year-old sprinters, that's coming up next. You'll see the field right behind us. And then we'll have riders up in a post parade for the Gallant Bob. First things first, we send things over to Danny. Standing by.
Hey, I'm with Danielle Montgomery. She runs our Turning for Home. That's our on-track racehorse retirement program right here at Parks. Now, everybody gets to see these amazing horses on the track today, but why is outreach so important for what they do when they're done racing?
Absolutely. We're really proud here at Parks Racing. Turning for Home has helped over 4,000 horses to retire. So it's really important that this is an all-in sort of aftercare thing where the owners, when they race their horses here, they put towards their aftercare. So when these horses are done racing, obviously Torpedo, Anna, and Cesar Gray are not coming to Turning for Home. They're going to go to the breeding shed. But the rest of the horses, they can go on to be hunter jumpers, they can go on to barrel race, they can do everything. So we're just really proud to be the transitional organization here at Parks Racing where no horse gets left behind.
These horses are amazing. Back to you guys on the desk.
One of the biggest changes in recent years in thoroughbred racing, the focus on thoroughbred aftercare, Turning for Home, one of the many terrific organizations focusing on just that. Here on Pennsylvania Derby Saturday, always an energetic, enthusiastic crowd. Biggest day of the year in racing in the Commonwealth. And with that, we turn things over to General Wilson, retired officer first class, with the singing of the national anthem.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Very, very well done. Wow. Officer First Class General Wilson, our thanks for your service and that rendition of the national anthem. Fans here awaiting the next live race at Parks, the Gallant Bob, these 3-year-old sprinters, Grade 2. You talk about designations of racing. It doesn't get any better than Grade 1. Grade 2 is very solid. There's the field, updated odds. Awesome Ruta is out, 7 deep, and Benta Tornado, odds on 3 to 5. Lots to like. Star jockey Rod Ortiz in the saddle. If he's going to be successful from a tactic strategy standpoint, what does Rod need to do early on?
He's going right to the front. From the one post, I don't think they have a lot of choice. And Arad, for the people that don't know, that are just tuning in, he already won the double here today. Leads the country in wins. He's won the Eclipse Award as the leading jockey in the country 5 of the last 6 years. So really good horse with one of the best jockeys in modern times.
Rod Ortiz, Dick mentioned the 5 Eclipse Awards. When you hear Eclipse Award, that's like an MVP for jockeys. Yep. And multiple riding titles at Saratoga, one of the very best in the business, and riding the favorite in the upcoming Gallant Bob. We check in with Maggie.
Yeah, horses just arriving here for this Gallant Bob Lafitte, and boy, is this a good-looking crew of 3-year-old sprinters. As we'll take a look at the favorite, the one that Dick likes, in Ben Tornado for trainer Jose D'Angelo. And he is a ball of energy. He's everything you want in a horse that is likely to have some early speed. I think there are horses in here that are faster than him, but his job gets a little bit difficult because he doesn't want to get stuck down on the rail. While we've seen horses perform really well running up the rail throughout the day here at Parks, your trip gets a little tougher if you have a wall of horses in front of you, but really ticking all the boxes here physically. He is ready for action. Trainer Safi Joseph, coming off the back of a huge Saratoga meet, will send out 2 in here, including number 7, One Sharp Cookie. He'll bring his Gulfstream Park form for the first time outside of that racetrack here to Parks, and he is quick too. Very robust animal, really striking. He's almost black. He has that really rich hydrated coat, really acts classy, has that intelligent look in his eye, but another horse that has a lot of early speed. So maybe you want to try to find one that could close a little bit, and I'm hoping that is the other Safi Joseph horse in number 6, Practically Dark, who does pick up the riding assignment from Flavien Prat, who is one of the leading jockeys in this country. His talents in the saddle are endless. He broke records in Saratoga for winning the most stake races and graded stakes races up there this year. So Practically Dark, he blew the brake last time. He had to circle the field while that race won on the front end by Bucarino. It was the local prep for this Gallant Bob. Practically Dark is going to add a pair of blinkers today for Safi Joseph. He's a big, rangy horse, so he kind of gives the physical impression that maybe longer is better, but I think Connections wants, with those blinkers on, him to be in a more prominent position, get out of the gate cleaner, and hopefully capitalize on what could be a hot pace, Lafitte.
Watch out for him late. Practically Dark. What do you make of his chances this afternoon, Dick?
I don't think he's fast enough. I think there's just too many horses that have big numbers. I understand exactly what Maggie's saying. He needs the right setup. He's not only going to need the right setup, he's going to need the race of his life. But, man, anytime Pratt is on anything these days, you have to upgrade him. He's unreal.
A summer for the history books. As Maggie mentioned, the record wins for stakes races. At Saratoga, the most prestigious, most competitive individual race meet in North America, 18 stakes victories, Flavien Prat, 7 of the Grade 1 variety.
All records up at Saratoga, and that's the toughest meet in the country to win any race, much less all of those races. And right now, for the Eclipse Award, we mentioned a minute ago, the MVP of jockeys, right now it's a kind of a dead heat between Prat and Irad Ortiz. I would make Prat a slight favorite at this moment to get his first Eclipse Award, but it's probably going to come down to the fall races and the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar.
Incredible summer. You'll see him shortly at his very best in races that matter the most. Flavien Prat. But for jockeys like Flavien Prat, for Irad Ortiz, when you win a Cotillion, when you win a Pennsylvania Derby, those are the highest of highs in thoroughbred racing. Make no mistake, for a jockey, it's not all glitz and glamour.
Mental health has long been a taboo subject in the racing world, but it came to the forefront in the past couple of years as the racing community was rocked by the suicide deaths of jockeys Alex Kinchari, Avery Weissman, and most recently, trainer David Hoffmans. I got to sit down with members of the Parks Jockey Colony recently to discuss some of the struggles they face and how we are working to make things better.
being in a slump, it's hard because it's not just business-wise, it's mentally. So you kind of have to really have your mind straight and always look forward and not really look back on what happened yesterday, or even in this sport, the last race, because you could have a terrible race and then half an hour later you got to go back out and ride the next race.
Everything's going well, and I'm riding with confidence, but that's just part of the game, to ride that roller coaster of emotions and the big wins, and then the slumps that come along with it too, because it doesn't matter how good we are as athletes, as riders, we're only as good as the horses we're sitting on top of.
There's always somebody next going to replace you. So I think we, more often times when we shouldn't, we do push ourselves quite a bit, because we know if I can't do it now, then the next person is waiting right there. They're going to do it. It's going to take your business.
Took a spill. I got prescribed pain pills. One thing led to another, and my addiction just spiraled out of control. And it's dangerous.
Women on the racetrack can often face different struggles. And I sat down with jockey Madeline Rowland to discuss her experiences.
You know that you have accomplished it, and you're just not getting the right opportunities.
To learn more about the struggles that men and women as jockeys face, including things like addiction, weight management, and the highs and lows of competing at the highest level in sports, learn more and watch the entire forum at the Parks Racing YouTube at Official Parks Racing.
Important issue. Naturally, jockey mental health. Meetings on Capitol Hill in D.C. this week addressing this very issue. Jessica Paquette, thanks so much. Last year becoming the first female track announcer to call the Cotillion and Pennsylvania Derby. She'll do so once again this afternoon. Included the Gallant Bob. We'll have riders up in just a moment. In a post-parade, we'll have a chance to meet the field as Ben Tornado continues to reign as the choice. Dick gives out a selection, and that's what happens. You're better off keeping these things to yourself, Dick.
I wish I could, Lafitte, but you asked me about it, so I figured I might as well just tell the audience who I like. I couldn't hide it at that point.
You know what you can't hide is the fact that he was as competitive as he was chasing a Japanese colt by the name of Forever Young in Saudi Arabia. Yes, that same Forever Young who nearly won the Kentucky Derby the first Saturday in May.
Exactly. And the horse that was second in there is Bookham Dano, the great Jersey-bred sprinter, is one of the best three-year-old sprinters in the country.
A Grade 1 winner.
Right. So that was a sensational third-place finish. Then he came off this long layoff to run at Charlestown in the Robert Hilton Memorial on their big night, the CT Classic night, and just missed winning with a 99 buyer. If he can come back to that number, that will win the race. But look, Maggie made a great point. The question is, could he get behind horses? If he does, it's a little different situation. The trainer's kind of on record says we're going. But then it's a question, are you fast enough to get there? Can you beat everybody else to the quarter pole?
Are others on paper, and this is something to watch right from the start. This is why we love sprint racing. They spring the latch. These horses are going to go as fast as they can right from the opening bell. On paper, if Team Ben Tornado and Arado Ortiz pedal to the metal, they want to be in front, who do they have to worry about cranking up and applying the pressure?
Yeah, Bucarino for sure, who won the prep race to Sal de Bunda here on Smarty Jones Day. He's got speed. He's locally based. Freddie Velasquez is a Hall of Famer here at Parks.
There he is.
And one sharp cookie who Maggie talked about. It's also very fast. So the race within the race is going to be fascinating. Keep an eye on those first 100, 200 yards. That's going to tell you a lot what's going to happen in the last 100 yards.
Maggie liked what she saw in the paddock from Ben Tornado, who just walked by right behind us. A look at number 4 in Sunny Breeze.
Sunny Breeze finished third in the prep race here behind Bucarino and Maximus Meridius, who's also in this race. That's Ned Allard, who's closing on 3,000 career wins, and Ned's one of the great people in the game.
As far as the track today, have you noticed any tendencies? Is there a spot where riders may want to place their horses where it seems like the footing has been better this afternoon?
Yeah, horses have won from just about anywhere, Lafitte, on the dirt course, so I think it's not an edge one way or another. Horses have come up the rail to win, as Maggie mentioned before, so it's certainly not a detriment if you end up being in there. But yeah, I don't think it's a factor one way or another. And there have been days here at other racetracks where you did not want to be on certain parts of the course, or in fact you wanted to get to the rail if it's really live.
All right, so riders up. Phil Martelli will join us on set very shortly to do the honors.
Welcome to Parks Racing. It's my honor. Riders up.
Concise, to the point, well done, effective. Riders will be in those saddles in just a moment.
Phil has always been a great communicator, Lafitte. He knows how to do these things.
Certainly knew what he was doing well, he's known what he's done his whole career, but in 2004, and head coach of the St. Joe's men's basketball team and campaigning them to the perfect regular season 27-0.
Right, Phil's won more games at St. Joe's than any coach in their history, but yeah, 2003, 2004, they went 27-0 in the regular season. Jameer Nelson, the National Player of the Year. Jameer was actually with us a couple of years ago on set.
Nice.
He was up here as one of the racing ambassadors, and it's great to have Phil, who just retired from coaching this past year after being an assistant coach at Michigan for a few years.
Coach Martelli will be on set with us shortly. Let's meet the field for this Grade 2 Gallant Bob. 3-year-olds and the favorite, Ben Tornado Quick. He's been all over the world. Star jockey Rod Ortiz aboard.
He has indeed, and again, I think he's going to show big-time speed, and he's been in against way better horses than this group.
Awesome Ruta out, Bucarino in, as likes to mix it up early. He's fast.
Yeah, Bucarino is, Freddie Velasquez has been here for 40 years, the trainer. He's won 1,219 races, and again, he won the prep race, and it's interesting, his sire was actually 5th in the Turf Monster back here several years ago.
Number 4, Sunny Breeze, would be an upset, 18-1 currently. He will enter your picture, we promise. There he is.
Yeah, and he finished 3rd in the prep, but he would have to have a career top number, and he's had some really big numbers. But the question with him is what happens when he doesn't get the lead? His best races are when he did. I don't know that he's going to be able to get it here, but man, this could be a wild charge to the first quarter mile.
A theme throughout this race. Exciting. Beginning of the race is going to be exciting. Maximus Meridius and newly inducted Hall of Famer Joel Rosario.
Yeah, it gelded 2 races ago and blinkers off this time. Butch Reed has thought all along this is a really talented horse. He's trying to find a way to get him to the winner's circle.
Star jockey Flavian Pratt in those 18 stakes wins at Saratoga aboard Practically Dark.
It's by Practically Dark, who's the sire of Ways and Means. You saw her win the test stakes this year, Lafitte.
One Sharp Cookie, Triple Crown winning jockey Mike Smith.
Yeah, Mike Smith, Money Mike Smith. It's always great to see Mike back at Parks. I mean, he's one that could say it in Pennsylvania Derby so many times we lost count.
Always into mischief to the outside. Luan Machado, the jockey, a real revisit, a race he won earlier on the program.
Yeah, he's the rider of Next, and he won by a few lengths again today in the Greenwood Cup. We'll show that in a bit.
That's the field. Grade 2, Gallant Bob. Coming up next from Parks, we check in with Maggie.
Here with trainer Safi Joseph Jr. And Safi, Parks, one of the scene of your first big win, Math Wizard winning the Pennsylvania Derby. What's it like to be back here today?
I mean, it's always bring back great memories. That was our biggest win of our career up to then, and he kind of put us on the map, Math Wizard.
Well, you're going to send out 2 here in this Gallant Bob. As you just said to me, One Sharp Cookie probably makes a little bit more sense, a little faster on figures, but Practically Dark could get the pace scenario. Where are you hoping One Sharp Cookie is in the early running of this race?
I mean, ideally 1 and 4. There's a lot of speed, so we kind of left it to Mike. He doesn't need to lead. He could sit 2nd, 3rd if he needs to be, but you don't want him too far back because that's not his style. He needs to be forward, and kind of Mike will make decisions race flow wise.
He's a Hall of Famer. You kind of leave it up to him.
Yeah, most definitely. He knows a lot more than me.
You will also send out 1 in the Grade 1 Cotillion. Mystic Lake. I know Torpedo Anna's in there, but Mystic Lake could be the fastest. And we've seen horses in this race historically do well on the front end. What do you think of her chances?
Yeah, I mean, the distance is a big question mark. We're trying to, we're being sportsmanlike. The owner wants to give it a go, and we couldn't say no after Charlestown. It kind of made sense. Last 3-year-old race against Phillies going long, so Torpedo as a champion. I mean, we could even stay the distance, and we may not be good enough. So we're here to give it a try. We'll be happy to pick up a place in, and if we win, won't complain about that for sure.
Absolutely. Well, wishing you the best of luck with all your runners here today.
Thank you very much.
All right, Safi Joseph has a big shot here in this Gallant Bob, and could it be upset later on the Cotillion? Lafitte?
Trying to upset the likes of Torpedo Anna. For Torpedo Anna, it's nearly been the perfect season, her 1 defeat in the Travers to a Champion in Fierceness. This gentleman, Coach Martelli, knows all about a perfect regular season, having campaigned St. Joe's to that 27-0 record back in 2003, 2004. Coach, thanks so much for taking the time. Welcome to Parks.
This is really special. I am so honored to have had so many experiences. This goes in the book as one of these experiences.
When was the last time you were at a racetrack, if ever?
I can't remember. I know I was at once for sure, but I can't remember that actual event. Not like this. This is really been very, very exciting.
Phil, you had a reunion of your team just about a year ago, 20 years after, and to see all the players back. What was that night like, and what is it like thinking about all the memories of 2003-04?
Well, that's the whole deal is, you know, obviously when I left, it wasn't my choice to leave, but as the years have gone by, I realized I took my memories and I took my relationships. And that night was full of memories and relationships, and to have the opportunity for those young guys to know in their greatest moments now they can reach out, and times when they're just kind of wandering and wondering what to do next, they know that I'm there for them. It gives me chills right now to even think about having had the opportunity 20-some years ago to coach them, but also to stay connected with them over these 20 years.
As the wins start piling up, right, and you're 10-0 and then 20-0, just coaching in sports, there's always a lot of pressure, especially when you're expected to win. When the undefeated season continued, can you describe what that pressure was like looking ahead to each ball game?
Really, it didn't exist. It didn't exist for me because I felt like I got into a bubble. And if you had said to me, is today Tuesday or Wednesday, or I didn't know what day of the week it was, but I wanted to maintain my schedule. So if somebody thought that I could come out and help Coaches versus Cancer, I still went to all those things. I didn't isolate myself. The only thing that we changed was at the end of practice, we sent the players off the court because, as Dick well knows, we ran open practices. So there could be 300 or 400 people watching a practice. Many of them autograph collectors or dealers or whatever they call themselves, and we would just say to the players, go ahead. And to be honest with you, and I've had this conversation with Dick, one of the things in my brain that I've always prayed for would be that the players understood how special that was and that they enjoyed every single moment. There was not one day where I would say, man, I really regret. I wish we were just like an average. No. To be in Philadelphia and to be the toast of the town in Philadelphia, that was right up my alley.
See, I'm ready to run through a brick wall for him.
Yeah, unquestionably. Phil, I was at your last game as a coach. It was in March in Minneapolis in the Big Ten tournament. We're going to go to a race, but you know, they're loading the race, I'm just told, so we have to go to a horse race. But all the best in your coaching retirement, but I know you're going to stay busy.
No, I'll be around.
Yes, you will.
Great having you on set, Coach. Thanks so much. As we turn things over to Jessica Paquette, it is post time for the Grade 2 Gallon Bob. Final check of the tote board while you look at Practical Dark. The favorite, Ben Tornado, odds on 4-5.
Sunny Breeze is next. Followed by Maximus Meridius. Practically Dark, next one in. One Sharp Cookie is next. And now we're just waiting on Always Into Mischief. And now they're all in. Off and racing in the Gallant Bob. A good start on the outside for Always Into Mischief. Sunny Breeze, some speed out of the gate, and Ben Tornado goes right with him. Sunny Breeze has a tenuous lead. Ben Tornado to the inside, presses on. Then it's Always Into Mischief. One Sharp Cookie, Practically Dark. Maximus Meridius gets shuffled back a little bit, and Bucarino, he's improving his position. He's in fourth and gaining. Sunny Breeze maintains a narrow advantage. A half mile left to go. Sunny Breeze, Ben Tornado, Always Into Mischief looms to the outside. The opening quarter, a sharp 22 flat, and Sunny Breeze continues to get the pressure on the outside, Always Into Mischief. Ben Tornado, he's in third. Then it's One Sharp Cookie to his inside. Bucarino, Practically Dark's beginning to move, and Maximus Meridius still at the back. Sunny Breeze maintains that lead. Always Into Mischief, a persistent presence to his outside. A quarter mile left to go. 45 flat for the half. Top of stretch in the Gallant Bob, 3 across the track. Ben Tornado on the inside. Sunny Breeze running a big race all out down the center of track. Bucarino getting in gear. Maximus Meridius trying to get involved late. Sunny Breeze is resilient. Ben Tornado with a narrow lead. A 16th left to go.
Ben Tornado trying to shake off Sunny Breeze, and Ben Tornado wins the Gallant Bob. Sunny Breeze game in second, followed by Bucarino. Maximus Meridius fourth.
Tenacious, tough as nails, refusing to lose. Ben Tornado and Arad Ortiz hold on in the Gallant Bob.
And that is a really fast time for this racetrack, 109.92 Lafitte. And you're right, he was under heat the whole way. In fact, the first two went around the track together. Neither one of them gave up anything. Ben Tornado, even money in the end. Here he is on the inside with the great Arad Ortiz.
Sunny Breeze put his nose in front.
He did, absolutely did. 17-1 for Ned Allard, ran the race of his life. And here comes Bucarino, the local star, coming up for third on the outside.
Ben Tornado. Maybe we'll have a chance to see it on the gallop out. Arad Ortiz kind of snapped and said something to the rider on his outside, and Jamie Rodriguez and Sunny Breeze right about
there.
Right there. I'm not sure what that was all about as they exchanged pleasantries after the wire. Ben Tornado digging in and holding on in this Gallant Bob. As for Jamie Rodriguez, let's ride along. This was his perspective. Jockey cam. Sunny Breeze and Jamie right about here while he has the favorite to his inside, probably thinking, I've got you beat.
That's an awesome shot. So he's on the horse on the outside. That's the camera. It's on his helmet, and the horse to his inside is Ben Tornado. That is a very cool shot that you just don't get. You're right there. You're in the race in this one.
In the cockpit, yeah, and Arad Ortiz, you can see he barked something at him. To Maggie in the winner's circle.
Here with winning trainer Jose D'Angelo. And Jose, what a battle we saw from Ben Tornado today.
Thank you. He put his heart out today. The race was fast from the gate. He was battling since the start. I thought he can get the lead easier, but you know, every race is different and every race is hard. So he put his heart out today, and I'm very happy.
You were very bullish about saying that you guys wanted the lead, and is that truly his best running style? Obviously, one would think so.
You know, I think he's better on speed, but you have to be smart because when you make fast fractions, probably you can get tired at the end of the race. So that's why I spoke with Aaron, like, because we have to be smart and handle the speed to make him close today.
He was tenacious. Congratulations here in this Gallant Bob.
Thank you.
Great to Gallant Bob, going to Ben Tornado. That was a fun one to watch, Lafitte.
The class, an athlete refusing to lose. Ben Tornado. Explain why, Dick, with a colt like this who's won races by daylight, by 4.5 lengths, by 7.5 lengths, by 2 and 3 parts. Why is a win like that? Sometimes why are wins like that more impressive?
It just shows the horse has heart. You don't know it because when it's easy, there's no competition, right? What happens when a horse gets competition? A lot of horses don't like it. They just back out of there. Not Ben Tornado. It's interesting, Lafitte. He's now run at 6 furlongs 5 times. He's won them all. The race is not at 6 furlongs. He hasn't won yet. Put this horse at 6 furlongs. I think the trainer has figured it out.
Guess what? Breeders' Cup Sprint.
You know what?
6 furlongs, 3/4 of a mile. Is that on the agenda?
Why not? It's not
we'll find out.
It's not that great a year for sprinters.
Not for older sprinters.
No.
Ben Tornado. It seems like the class is among the 3-year-old sprinters. Arad Ortiz, the 5-time Eclipse Award winner, the Saratoga champion jockey, goes to work. Ben Tornado responds, digs in, turns back Sunny Breeze, and takes down the Grade 2 Gallant Bob. Entering the winner's circle, Leon King Stables, Ben Tornado. Surprising, as talented as he is, his first win
of the year
this year.
No, it's bizarre. But remember who he was running against. He's only run twice. I think they were thinking all along, let's do this, and let's go to Del Mar and see if we can beat the big ones.
According to Maggie Wolfendale, having a conversation with Connections, you heard from Jose D'Angelo, confirmed. Next stop will be the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Del Mar. Remember, there was a colt by the name of Triniberg who did not win this race. He finished second, was defeated by a long shot, and all he did was go from here to California and win the Breeders' Cup Sprint at San Diego at 13-1.
Right, and there's certainly history of this race, the next two of going to the Breeders' Cup and winning, and here's your prices.
Love seeing that emotion in the winner's circle.
Absolutely.
And that much more pride in the colt, because it's not like he was just miles the best. I thought he was beat at the top of the stretch, and Ben Tornado said absolutely not.
Yeah, no, he just wanted the win. And Sonny Breeze, when that Allard just came by, we congratulated him on a great job he did with his horse. He did everything but win it.
Ben Tornado in the Gallant Bob. We turn the page. First of two Grade 1 $1 million events. The Cotillion, 3-year-old fillies. That is the morning line. Mile and a 16th is the distance. Alabama winner Power Squeeze drawn inside. Torpedo Anna at 4 to 5. Top ranked 3-year-old filly in the country, and it's not close. What price do you think she'll be at post time? And I guess the more important question, bigger picture, this particular start for Torpedo Anna, exiting that near miss in the Travers, where she was nearly the first filly to win the Travers in 109 years. So what does this race mean back amongst her own gender today?
She needs to win. She needs to win big, like she's done all year, just to prove she's still the same as she was before. Did that race take something out of her where she comes back to the group that she's been crushing all year long? And to answer your question, Lafitte, about what price she's going to be, she's 1 to 9 at the moment on the opening board. Not a surprise that she would take this kind of action, because she has that kind of record. And her last race, the only one she lost all year, was actually her best race. She was tremendous.
Your friend's here.
Hi there. How are you? Nice to see you.
Not Torpedo Anna, just the pony.
Just the pony.
But you'll see Torpedo Anna, and we're
You
going to
wanted
set
to get
things
some
over
TV time.
to the Maniac.
All right, here, who am I with?
Jeff.
Jeff, where are you from?
Landisville, New Jersey.
Landisville, New Jersey, all the way to Ben Salem.
Yep.
You're here for the big races today, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we got the Cotillion coming up.
Okay.
Who are you placing a wager on?
Ooh, you know, I got a friend who I'm here with. He's got all the info. I think he said number 3. I don't really know if that is or isn't it, but you know what? I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust my gut. I'm here for a good time, you know, and just...
He's here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly.
And it is unbelievable here. Can you describe to the viewers at home what's the atmosphere like here at Pennsylvania Derby?
This is my first time here, and I did not expect it to be like this. I almost feel like I'm at a tailgate. You know, I've been walking around. At first, we were at the casino. I'm like, this can't be it. So we found our way over here. I'm like, okay, this is it. Yeah. All the people here, it's exciting. You know, we were over here for a little while where there's just like, you know, people mainly watching the race, but then you walk down a little bit and got a lot more people partying.
There's where all the fun and activities are. The horse the horse rides, the pony rides. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you get your information, you said, from your friend when it comes to picking horses.
He's got a friend of a friend.
Okay, a friend of a friend. We all have got a friend of a friend. But when it comes to you, like, how do you handicap a horse race?
I'll tell you what. Again, this is my first time being here. This is my first time being at a track. So I will say, I think it was the second race. I'm watching over there, right, where they're just walking the horses around. I see the one horse, he's number 3. He looks angry. He looks mad that whoever he's with is walking him around. I said, he's going to run angry. He's going to do well. And then I think he ended up placing second. So
there you go. There you have it. A new betting strategy. We've unveiled it here. Unveiled it. Bet on the mean ones. Bet the mean horses. They're usually the fast ones. Take it away, guys.
Might stick with a friend of a friend. The old angry horseplay here at Parks Casino and Racing as we get set for the Grade 1 Cotillion. And no surprise there, Torpedo Anna 1 to 9. The fillies entering the paddock. We'll check in with our reporters. We'll have riders up and a post parade. The star of this show, Torpedo Anna, looking to rack up a 4th Grade 1 victory this season. No fierceness to tangle with today. Anna, strictly the one to beat in the Grade 1 Cotillion. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Pennsylvania Derby Saturday at Parks Casino and Racing. Cotillion coming up. There she is. Torpedo Anna, 1 to 9 for the finest 3-year-old filly in North America. So what's in a name? Meet Anna Thorpe. She's a high school junior. Torpedo Anna is named after. She's a swimmer and a fast one, nicknamed the Torpedo. Anna Thorpe, Torpedo Anna, both athletes and both do a lot of winning.
Torpedo Anna is the queen of thoroughbred racing. After winning the Grade 2 Fantasy Stakes, trainer Kenny McPeak had another way to describe his 3-year-old filly.
And she is a dominant winner of the Fantasy.
They better bring a bear because I'm bringing a grizzly. I mean, she's serious. I wouldn't be scared to run her against colts. I mean, she's that good.
It was on to the Kentucky Oaks. And all eyes were on this talented filly as the Grizzly was on the move.
Torpedo Anna still going strong at the 16th pole. Oh, she's got plenty left. And Brian Hernandez and Torpedo Anna dominate the 150th Kentucky Oaks.
Not only did jockey Brian Hernandez and trainer Kenny McPeak win the Kentucky Oaks, but the next day they won the Kentucky Derby with Mystic Dan. Now, that's history.
To be able to say, hey, you won the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks in the same weekend, and for it to be the 150th running of it, it's definitely history making, and it's definitely undescribable, but we're just enjoying it all.
Up next, the Acorn Stakes and more domination.
Torpedo Anna, she is simply brilliant, putting them away in the DK horse Acorn. Another stellar performance.
This filly is no doubt one of the best to come around in years. And this next race, the Coaching Club American Oaks, will show us why.
And they're off in the Coaching Club American Oaks, and Torpedo Anna hopped in the air. It's all Torpedo Anna. The leader of the division is simply spectacular in the Coaching Club American Oaks. She'll win for fun.
And how fun it is to have a filly like this. In fact, this Grizzly is ready to eat against the boys in the Travers Stakes.
Fierceness, Torpedo Anna in an absolutely dramatic conclusion. The champ is back. Fierceness.
It was exciting. Can I tell you I like being second? No, don't like being second. The day that I enjoy being second, then I'll probably retire. But I'm very proud of her race. I mean, a lot went right. She did everything right. She's obviously, justified the fact that we ran her there. Yep. There was the fair share of naysayers, but she's the queen now. I mean, she's an amazing horse.
Now she comes to Parks, and what a treat for this packed Derby Day crowd as the queen tries to get back into the winner's circle and perhaps on her way to Horse of the Year.
That Travers, Saratoga was rocking, Dick. In a loss, can you lend perspective to just how good Torpedo Anna ran?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the 2-year-old champion that's in front. Fierceness, right? Won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, won the Florida Derby, won the Jim Dandy. This is a really good horse, and she is running another maybe, 2-3 jumps. She's going to win this thing. That's how good she was. And again, look at the competition. Sierra Leone, a multiple graded stakes winner, is right behind him. So a sensational performance, and it's interesting to see. Torpedo Anna has been at Saratoga since the Kentucky Oaks. He went right up there. Yesterday was the first day she left Saratoga. She came right here to Park. You just saw her getting off the van yesterday afternoon.
The Grizzly Bear. Over to Maggie with Jeff Maddie, Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association.
And Jeff and I, we got up close and personal just now with Torpedo Anna. Jeff, how imperative and important and special is it to have her for this Grade 1 Cotillion at Parks?
Maggie, I think it speaks for the whole track, the whole horsemen's group. Arguably, she's one of the most talented fillies, talented horses in the country, probably the most popular. So to come here at Parks, it's a year worth of effort for the horsemen, for the racetrack. This is our biggest day. We take so much pride in it, and to have a filly of her caliber, Kenny, the connections, the entire field, we just couldn't be more excited.
How'd you think she looked?
Fantastic. I mean, I can't wait. Hope she runs as well as she looks. That'd be fantastic.
And this is such a special day for this racetrack. Can you speak to how important it is?
Racing in Pennsylvania is huge. We have a great breeding program, so to see it all come together with all the stakes that we have with a 14-race card, like I said, it's just a huge testament to not only racing here at Parks, but racing in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we could not be more proud of it.
Jeff, job well done, and thank you for joining us here.
Thank you, Maggie.
As we get over to Danny, and speaking of Pennsylvania breds, Danny, there was one about 20 years ago that made a lasting impact on this racetrack and the entire industry.
Oh, he certainly did. Smarty Jones. The name itself takes us back to that exhilarating time in horse racing. He lives on in our hearts, and he continues to bring new fans to the sport. Check out this sneak peek of the new Smarty Jones documentary.
Right after 9/11,
people were feeling pretty down, and we were looking for something to grasp onto.
You want to feel part of something, and you felt like you were part of the story.
You think of a sports hero being a football player, basketball player, but this horse is a lot of people's hero.
For home, and undefeated Smarty Jones comes wide off the turn. Smarty Jones has done it. Lamb House was second.
You basically had the equivalent of a AAA baseball team playing in the World Series. Wait a second, what is this horse from then Philadelphia Park doing?
Smarty! Smarty! We love you, Smarty!
I think Chappie's health and age had a lot to do with it.
It's been a real pick-me-up, as he said. It could be his last hurrah, and probably will be our last hurrah.
People have a tendency to not really pay attention unless something really jumps out at them and makes them pay attention. And I think Smarty made people pay attention.
Second on the inside. He's going to win by a colossal margin. Smarty Jones. He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths. He remains undefeated, and it's on to Belmont.
I've been riding 20 years, and I've never had a horse like this. This is, you dream about having a chance to win the Triple Crowns.
I haven't watched a race in 19 3/4 years.
Bernstone surges past. Bernstone wins the Belmont Stakes. Smarty Jones.
We have people come from all over the United States. I mean, there was somebody here from Alaska the other day. Actually, I had a gentleman from Japan come through here. We've had people come in there and walk up to the front of his stall and just start crying. You know, we never dreamt we'd have a horse like him here. Things happen for a reason, right, champ? Yeah. Smarty Jones was the ultimate dream for all the dreamers, if you will, in the thoroughbred business. It's what keeps the small people having hope that they can get to a place that Smarty took Mrs. Chapman. We don't take him for granted, that's for sure. We treasure every day with a horse like this because you never know how long you're gonna have them, you know. Whether they're young or old, you just never know how long they're gonna be with you.
20 years later, people are still talking about it. It's amazing.
Maybe he's just one of one. It won't ever happen again. But the good news is it did happen, and we still have great memories from that time.
Last night, Dick, we watched the entire documentary, all of us, in the beer garden here in the casino just behind us. Smarty Jones 20 years later, and it seemed to trigger some emotion in the room.
No question, especially at the end when Pat Chapman, the owner we just saw here a minute ago, was just, the emotion in her and how much she loved her horse and loves her horse to this day. And John Service, they were the stars back then. They're still the stars. And it's interesting, Lafitte. Then Governor Rendell told me later on, and he was in one of those photos. He was at the Preakness, and Tommy Tomlinson, the longtime state senator right here in the district, said, without Smarty Jones, no way this slots bill ever gets passed. No way this casino's across the way. They've been trying for years to get it across the finish line. All of a sudden, these legislators say, wait a second, who is this horse? This is cool. John Service went after the legislature. He was like a hero. Voila. Bill signed in the winner's circle in July of 2004, and that's why we're here today.
And maybe we're not sitting here
question.
today otherwise. I wish I had a better segue, but I don't. Here's a Maniac.
What's going on, guys? Maniac Malloy here. I'm with Ashley Eisenbiel. Ashley, beautiful, beautiful day. You're looking stunning. The weather is stunning. Tell us all about the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association and what does this day mean?
Well, it's the biggest day of racing in Pennsylvania. It means a lot to us. So Penn Horse Racing is an association that promotes horse racing in Pennsylvania. Check us out on www.pennhorseracing.com. You can get free PPs there. Also, we have a lot of information for newcomers, just learning about the sport, wanting to get into it, dabbling. So a lot of learn the ropes information. So go check it out, pennhorseracing.com. Also can find us on social, Facebook, Twitter, all the platforms at Penn Horse Racing.
Fantastic, fantastic. And you know, we also did a podcast this week. We got to plug that.
Yes, we have a podcast. It's called Hot to Trot with me and Donnell, and it is a lot of fun. We put a lot of people in the hot seat. We put you in the hot seat. You had to do some handicapping with me.
Absolutely.
You had some good picks. You
I
had some winners today.
Absolutely.
Yes, so come check out Hot to Trot. You can find that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on Hot to Trot. We like to ask people some fun questions.
It is a good time. It is a good time. We're having a great time here. It's all happening in Bensalem. Throw it back to you guys.
Of course he's picking winners. He's just looking for the angry horse. That's all it takes, as we learned earlier today.
Double A, the angry animal.
Over. We check it with Danny.
Hey, very pleased to be joined by Brian Safranteller from the Pennsylvania Horse Breeders Association. What a time it is for Pennsylvania breds. Tell us about the program and just how important it is to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
It's unbelievable. Just to let you know, what a day today. I mean, we have thousands of people on the apron. It's been fantastic. But the PA Bred program is really moving. We had 4 $100,000 stakes today that we ran. We kicked off our PA sired PA Bred program. We'll continue that in December. And, you know, we probably have one of the best breeding programs in the country. The past 10 years, we paid out over $28 million annually to PA breds for breeder awards, restricted races, and owner bonuses. So it's just a fantastic feeling. It's great.
Well, it certainly does own a horse in Pennsylvania. Hopefully we'll see a PA bred win the PA Derby. What do you think, guys?
Just might.
Uncle Heavy?
Just might. Uncle Heavy, as he said, does his best work from off the pace. The Pennsylvania Derby, the highlight every season here at Parks, with the main event still on the horizon with the Cotillion. 3-year-old fillies. There is Torpedo Anna 1-9 with about 22 minutes to post until the Cotillion. Plus, he finished well behind Fierceness in Torpedo Anna in the Travers. But with an excuse or two, unmatched wisdom, Penn Derby contender. How will he respond to the first defeat of his young career? We'll find out on the Pennsylvania Derby. On this final day of summer, welcome back. Parks Casino and Racing, moments away from the first of 2 Grade 1 $1 million events. Updated odds for the Cotillion 3-year-old fillies, mile and a 16th. All eyes on post 6, Torpedo Anna 1-9. There's Power Squeeze. This is how good Torpedo Anna is, Dick. A filly who is 5 for 7 this year. A Grade 1 Alabama winning filly, most prestigious race for 3-year-old fillies at Saratoga. That's Power Squeeze. You look at the board, she's 17-1.
And in those other 2 races, she had the misfortune of running into Torpedo Anna, and she was beating a combined 22 lengths. And here she is winning the Alabama in a thriller, Lafitte.
Her tenacity. Look, if it's not Torpedo Anna, she's perfect, right?
Exactly.
The pace was set for Power Squeeze. She does her best running late. The faster the pace early, the more effective she is late. How does this race shape up for her on paper?
Not really that well. It wasn't like the race at Saratoga. There's really only 1 speed horse in the race, which we're going to get to in a second, the 8 horse. But yeah, she's solid, really good. The problem is who she's up against.
That was Javier Castellano in the saddle for the Alabama. He busted up his hand in a spill at Saratoga. He's on the mend. He'll be back before long. So Arad Ortiz takes over today, seeking a 4th win and a 2nd graded stakes victory, just having won the Gallon Bob with Ben Tornado. That's Power Squeeze. The bookends towards the outside. Number 8, the very quick Mystic Lake. What is her approach and strategy figure to be?
There's no strategy, Lafitte. She's going right to the front. There isn't any question. That's her only chance to win. The question, and we just said Saffie Joseph won a few minutes ago with Maggie. The question is, can she actually go this far? Well, she just went 2 turns at Charlestown. Different track, obviously, but it's a bull ring kind of a track. It's not a mile track like this, but She got a 95 by her. That's kind of the numbers Torpedo Anna has been running all year, except at Travers when she went off the charts. And any horse with early speed is automatically dangerous in any race, anytime. I think she's the only horse in this race that has any chance to beat Torpedo Anna. Am I predicting it? No. But if she wins, I will not be shocked. And right now you get 13-1 to try to beat the 1-9 shot.
Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith will have the pedal to the metal with Mystic Lake. To Maggie in the paddock.
Yeah, we have some cheers here from the paddock. It might be Mike Smith. It also might be Torpedo Anna that they're cheering for. And what makes a great equine athlete is not only their physical prowess, but also their intelligence and how they interpret their jobs. And what I can say about Torpedo Anna is that she knows when it's game time, because I actually had the really privileged opportunity to spend some time with her in the mornings at Saratoga in her stall, feeding her Karens. I had my 2 children in there with her, and she was as gentle and calm as can be. But when you put a bridle on her, she knows what time it is, and she is her typical self. A lot of people have come up to me here standing by the paddock saying, ooh, she looks a little hot. And I just say, that's how she always is. So she is your typical Torpedo Anna, and the thing I love is that her weight looks good, considering that she has had a pretty thorough 3-year-old campaign, starting with that fantasy going back to March, and really hasn't missed a beat. So much the same Torpedo Anna here in the paddock. We'll see if she shows it out on the racetrack, as we'll check in with the horse that Dick and Lafitte were just talking about, number 8, Mystic Lake. Can she stretch it out? Physically, she doesn't say, she doesn't give me that feeling of, oh, wow, she's been dying to go long her entire career. No, she's built more like a sprinter. Yes, it's promising that she was able to win around 2 turns at Charlestown, but we're dealing with a completely different animal here at Parks with this configuration of the racetrack. And looking at her, while she looks tremendous, Safi Joseph's horses do tend to look that way. She's really built downhill, really short and stout. That doesn't make me think that a mile and a 16th is in her wheelhouse. Now, the one Power Squeeze I think is arguably the biggest threat given credentials to Torpedo Anna, as she comes off the back of that Alabama win. But as Dick said, she's not likely to get the same pace scenario. I'll say this, though, about Power Squeeze. I liked her on paper last time, but I didn't love the way that she warmed up or appeared prior to that race. And I'm learning that she is quite a reserved individual. She's very laid back in her demeanor, but she actually looks better in her coat, better in her conditioning, which I appreciate. So sometimes when you have a horse that is gaining confidence, getting on a roll, as she has won her last 2, it can mean the world to them, and it's reflective in how they look physically. Number 3, Tarifa, she went in to the Kentucky Oaks as a legitimate player, but nothing went right that day over the sloppy racetrack in which Torpedo Anna dominated in Louisville. She didn't get away that quickly, and she was further back than what she was used to. Then she got a bit rank, and I just don't think she's as good over a wet track. Her comeback race in the Audubon Oaks at Ellis Park, I thought a good effort, because she put away the horse that she battled with early, but the winner just got the more ideal trip. A useful start back. She is fit by looking at her here in the paddock, but I just don't know how much she's gone on. You like to see these younger horses start to grow, start to fill out, and I just am not gathering that from her here in the paddock today, Lafitte.
Great stuff, Maggie. To lend perspective at how things have changed over the past few months, Tarifa, we look at the board, she's 19-1. I see a 1 and a 9 for Torpedo Anna as well, but there's a slash in between both numbers. She's 1-9. In the Kentucky Oaks, yeah, Tarifa was 5-1 at post time when Torpedo Anna won the Kentucky Oaks. She was just 4-1.
It's total domination. She's been doing it all year long. And one of the many cool things about Torpedo Anna, Lafitte, is that she's an anyway horse, meaning she can win on the lead, she can win from mid-pack, she can win from the back, and she's had to do all of those things this year, and none of them have been any kind of a problem against fillies.
I think it's important that she passed the test in terms of physical appearance to Maggie in the paddock, because she is exiting an extraordinarily taxing, demanding race. How hard she had to run in that 1.25-mile Travers against the boys, against a champion.
And by the numbers, it was by far the fastest race of her career, and there are people that subscribe to the people. Maybe it's not going to happen again. We shall see.
Team Torpedo Anna. Screen left, Kenny McPeak. finally getting his first Kentucky Derby with Mystic Dan the day before the Oaks with Torpedo Anna, becoming, I believe, just the 4th trainer to ever pull off the sweep. For Brian Hernandez, just the 8th jockey in history to sweep the Oaks and Derby. Doesn't get much better, those 24 hours, than a sweep the first weekend in May at Churchill Downs. To Charlie Manuel for Riders Up.
Hello, Philadelphia. Riders up.
When he
is not going to be Phil Martello.
When he speaks, they listen. Riders up shortly for the Cotillion. Exactly 1,000 career wins as a manager. Exactly 1,000.
And the World Series in 2008.
And then there's that. What a team, that 08 team. Brad Lidge will be with us later on in the broadcast.
An absolute legend in this town. Charlie Manuel, one of the most beloved sports figures in the history of this city. And it's hard to become beloved around here, Lafitte. He is.
What do you remember most, not to go too far off on a tangent, post-parade brewing for this Cotillion, that 08 season and a World Championship, a World Series title? What was it like in this town then?
It was wild because none of the sports teams had won anything in 25 years. That's 100 seasons. So everybody was waiting forever, and it was an explosion when the Phillies won in 08.
Charlie Manuel, Riders up. Now the call to post for the Grade 1 Cotillion, and $1 million purse. Sophomore fillies, 3-year-old fillies, mile and a 16th. And there is the Grizzly Bear, Torpedo Anna. What will she do in her Ben Salem debut? There's Power Squeeze, the Alabama winner at 14-1.
And she's the daughter of Union Rags, the 2012 Belmont Stakes winner, owned by Phyllis and Jamie Wyeth of Chester County.
Scalable, Fierceness Connections, owned by Mike Rapoli, trained by Todd Pletcher.
They won the Monmouth Oaks. Todd Pletcher won this race in 2004 with the Hall of Famer Ashado.
Tarifa, never dismiss Flavien Prat in a stakes race, Saratoga or otherwise.
Yeah, and Pratt and Cox are some combination when they get together. They are always dangerous. Look, on paper, no, but every time I see Pratt, I get a little scared if I like somebody else.
And rightfully so. Number 4, Everland, and Luan Machado seeking a second stakes victory this afternoon.
Yeah, he went on next earlier in the card, and she's a big long shot. She was 41-1 in the Kentucky Oaks, and she's 70-1 today.
Sidamara defeated a nose by Power Squeeze in the Delaware Oaks.
And she's a daughter of Arrogate, who has given us the winner in the last 3 years of the Kentucky Oaks, the Belmont, and this year the Preakness in his only 3 crops. Boy, will he be missed, and what a stallion he was going to be.
Lost way too soon. Torpedo Anna, among the best horses, among the best stories in racing.
Cost just $40,000. She's earned over $2 million. Her sire, Fast Anna, you'll love this, finished second in the 2014 Gallant Bob right here at Parks.
Gun Song, this surprised me. John Velasquez seeking a first Cotillion victory.
A shocking. I looked at it yesterday too. I'm saying, really? She won the Black Eyed Susan and the local prep, the Cotillion, and if she wins today, $50,000 bonus for winning them both.
Mystic Lake, come and catch her if you can.
Yeah, she's lone speed. She won the Charlestown Oaks by 5 lengths. She looks very much like Society and Ceiling Crusher, the last 2 winners of this race, but neither one of them was facing Torpedo Anna.
3-year-old fillies in the Cotillion, Grade 1 status, $1 million purse, post time 7 minutes to Maggie with Torpedo Anna's trainer, Kenny McPeak.
That's right, Lafitte. And Kenny, bringing her in today, you have not dodged a single appointment for this 3-year-old campaign of Torpedo Anna. Talk a little bit about how she thrives on racing.
Well, we've actually spaced her races pretty good. She was 6 weeks going into the Travers. I mean, that's plenty of time for us. And this is 4, and then you've got another 6 to the Breeders' Cup. So I don't concern myself with that too much. I think what probably I'm a little trepidation today about is that she's never shipped in and run before. She's typically been training wherever she was racing, and she really settled into Saratoga really good this summer. And she shipped in here yesterday, and she's done well overnight. And to act like she always acts in the paddock, she gets a little excited. But, you know, let's see. I mean, she's pretty capable.
We discussed shipping horses, and a lot of times either you do it a long way out or right on top of the race. Is that kind of your mindset with her coming in here yesterday evening?
Well, it really depends on the horse. If a horse gets used to shipping in, they understand that when they get on a truck, they're getting ready to go. Like in Kentucky, when we're based at Keenewood or Churchill, and we're running at one or the other, it's not unusual for us to go in probably the first good horse of my career, Tahana Run, loved to ship and run. He got so excited morning of the race, and he ran his best races right off the truck, to the point where we'd ride him around on the truck before he ran, and he'd run him at home. So there's lots of tricks to this stuff.
There is. You kind of have to outsmart them at times. But Kenny, talking about Torpedo Anna, she has shown so much versatility throughout her races that she just wants to win. What do you think her ideal trip, and what trip does she project to get today?
Well, she's been faster than Gunsong outside of her, and I told Brian, don't really give that up to Gunsong. You've already proven you can be in front of her and finish away from her, and so I think going into the first turn's probably, you know, what I'm probably going to be watching closest. But it's still up to Brian, and he knows her so well. And the other thing is, we talked about, just keep her out of trouble. You know, don't let her get boxed in and slowed down where she can't recover from that. So, you know, look, he's a consummate professional, and we trust him immensely.
How important is she to your barn, to your team, to Brian, the owners?
It's been a fantastic ride. You know, it's just one of those. I think I wished every trainer in America could have a horse like her. I mean, for those that remember me when I started out, I remember stabling here at Philly Park and went 0 for 30 one summer, starving to death. Of course, I had a 28 waist and head full of hair back then, but I looked like Tom Morley, actually.
He's bald. It's fine. That's my husband.
Anyway, so there were humbling days.
Well, wishing you the best here, and that it goes well at Parks.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Kenny McPeak, Torpedo Anna, she has so many fans, including us two here. Levine?
Perhaps not a 28-inch waist, but the top-ranked 3-year-old filly in the country that he does train, as we are now joined by Charlie Manuel on set. Charlie, great to have you with us.
Thank you.
You know a lot about pressure in these situations. For a trainer like Kenny McPeak, he has Torpedo Anna. Anything short of a blowout victory somehow would be considered a disappointment. How would you relate to this as a manager getting ready for a big ball game, a big playoff game that you are expected to win in? Anything short of victory is on the coaches, on the team, and is not going to be well accepted.
I don't look at it as pressure. I look at it doing my job and where the work that goes in play. I want to fill in what we are definitely ready, and we're capable of doing what we want to do, and I stay even keel, and I definitely have an atmosphere around our team to stay that way. And we do something good in a game, we might applaud you, but at the same time, we go right back and stay focused on what we're doing. And most of the time, as the game goes along, you know, like you get where you don't even have a doubt that you're not going to win a game. And we make sure we have that feeling in our when we play it.
Charlie, it's been 16 years since the World Series. Nobody in this town will ever forget it. What are your memories of that time here looking back on it?
I remember last day of the season when Rollins made a diving catch, and that allowed us to give Cole Hamels the baseball in the first playoff game we had, and he took us all the way to the end. I mean, he was that cool, and he was on a hot streak, and felt our pitching was well organized, and things fell right for us.
I said to Lafitte a minute ago that you're one of the sports heroes in this town. When you come back to town, do you still get people coming up to you and want to talk about that time?
Yeah, yes, all the time. But you know, I get so many people that want to talk to them. Is amazing, and I don't know how to act around them, really. I have people stop their cars, get out, come and want to shake my hand. They act like they know me for 10 years, 15 years, something like that. And I don't know how to handle it, so I just be who I'm at, where I'm at. I just let it go from there.
All the joy you and the team brought to their lives in a world title. Charlie, thanks so much for taking the time. Great job with Riders Up, and look forward to seeing you before long.
Good. Thank you guys for having me.
You got it.
Charlie Manuel joining us on set here on the biggest day of racing in Pennsylvania, the $1 million Grade 1 events just around the corner, the Pennsylvania Derby. Very soon, the Cotillion and Torpedo Anna. We check in with Maggie and Danny standing by in the winner's circle.
Yeah, Danny, you got the opportunity to watch several of these horses warm up as they are behind the gate. Now, let's talk about your heavy favorite and likely champion. That's Torpedo Anna. What did you see from her in the warm-up?
Yeah, I mean, Brian has his feet out of the irons, just keeping her very relaxed. Obviously, she doesn't need a big warm-up. But I kept my eye on the number 8, Mystic Lake, because that will be Mike Smith's best tactic to take it to them early. She certainly has the speed. We've seen this work before with Society and Ceiling Crusher, but can she get the distance?
I didn't see it with her physically, but as you said, it's not like Mike gave her that big of a warm-up either. So are they just reserving energy, or are they really going to go? What do you think?
I think that they're going to go. I think that's the only way, and I think we'll see Mike looking to the inside to see what's going on inside of him.
Yeah, Kenny McPeak actually saying that Gun Song, he was a little concerned about that one being quick as she won on the front end here in her prep, but we'll see who, asserts themselves early. I think we'll see Mystic Lake and Torpedo Anna probably right at her flank.
Oh yeah, and Irad's going to be aggressive with Power Squeeze going from the inside.
Yep.
Let's take it back to Lafitte.
Danny, Maggie, thanks so much. At the gate for the Cotillion, 1-9, Torpedo Anna. Expect to see that filly in front, Mystic Lake, and that's what Brian Hernandez is looking at. You're on board with the best 3-year-old filly in North America, one of the best horses in the sport, Torpedo Anna.
And you see that sky there, Lafitte?
Didn't look like that last year.
Yeah, for sure. And if Torpedo Anna does what we expect, when you see the camera in the stretch, you're going to see nothing in front of her but sky.
Torpedo Anna, perfect against her own gender this year. I did like the confidence from trainer Jorge Delgado. Campaign's Power Squeeze, the Alabama winner. He says 4 to 1 of them. He goes, I feel like I have the 4 to 5 shot in the Cotillion.
I love his confidence. Did he remember the 2 races that his filly ran against Torpedo Anna?
She's due. Maybe she's due.
Hey, good for him.
Power Squeeze, Alabama winner in the gate. Scalable in those White Barrio colors. Breeders' Cup Classic winner steps forward with Paco Lopez. The Grizzly Bear, the top-ranked 3-year-old filly in the nation. Torpedo Anna is in the gate. 1-9, post time for the Grade 1 $1 million Cotillion. Jessica Paquette standing by.
And now we're just waiting on Mystic Lake. And now they're all in. Off and racing in the Cotillion. It was a flawless beginning for this field of 8. On the outside, Mystic Lake goes right to the lead. Torpedo Anna settles into second. They go by the finish line for the first time. Then it's Mystic Lake, followed by Tarifa. Sidamara, in between horses, the gray Scalable. In on the rail, Power Squeeze. In the early trailer, the gray Everland. Mystic Lake, she wanted the lead, but she's not going to have it easily. Torpedo Anna just a neck behind in second. In third, Gun Song about 1.5 lengths off. Then it's Tarifa, fourth, followed by Sidamara in fifth, Power Squeeze sixth. To the outside, Scalable, and then Everland is at the back. They go through an opening quarter, 23 and 4. They begin their run down the backstretch, and Mystic Lake continues to lead. Gun Song now in second. Torpedo Anna, she's about 2 lengths back. She's in third. She's lost some ground, followed by Tarifa. Then it's Scalable to her inside. Sidamara, followed by Power Squeeze, and still at the back, Everland. And Mystic Lake takes them through half, 48 flat. They are not cooking on the front end. Mystic Lake well within herself. Gun Song a length off in second. Then it's Tarifa flanked by Torpedo Anna, followed by Scalable in fifth. Sidamara, Power Squeeze, and still at the back, Everland. And Mystic Lake continues to lead just off of her outside. Gun Song, she's beginning to move. Under a drive, Torpedo Anna, Tarifa, she's in third. They go around the far turn in the Cotillion, a quarter mile left to go. Mystic Lake has led all the way, but now she has some company coming. Gun Song up to confront her, and Gun Song sticks her nose in front. Torpedo Anna swings to the outside, and the Grizzly now begins to roar. Gun Song has the lead. Torpedo Anna on the outside. Tarifa, Gun Song game, but here comes Torpedo Anna. A 16th left to go. Torpedo Anna, the Grizzly has the heart of a lion. Torpedo Anna gets the win, a narrow victory over a very game Gun Song in the Cotillion.
The Grizzly displaying the heart of a lion indeed. The heart of an eventual champion. Torpedo Anna tested. She had to dig. She had to fight her class. She responds and takes down this Grade 1 Cotillion.
Yeah,
wow.
She needed every bit of it. And you see her 3 deep here with the white cap. maroon silks further outside. It's Johnny V, which held her in the whole way. Is she going to get up? I tell you, for Lafitte, I wasn't sure she was going to get there because it took her so long. And even here, Gunsong is coming back on her at the finish, but she was kind of locked in a bad spot the whole race. You could see that Brian Hernandez had wanted to get out, and he just couldn't get out.
Let's go back to the start of the race. We figured Mystic Lake would be aggressively ridden. She was. What did you notice from Torpedo Anna getting out of the blocks?
Well, it's like Kenny said, they wanted to get ahead of the 7-horse there, and they just couldn't get ahead of Gunsong, and therefore Johnny V and Gunsong just kept Torpedo Anna locked in, didn't give her a free space to run in. I didn't particularly like the way Mike Smith rode this race, frankly. I think he should have opened up 5 lengths. I thought that was the wrong way to do it. Here's Brian with the jockey cam. So he's behind horses now here, right? We're coming into the stretch. And the question is he going to find a space to get himself out? And
Not a lot of room to operate.
No, very little room to go. And she, again, that's why we said she's an all-way horse. She can run all kinds of different ways. This is the most difficult trip she's had, and she still finds a way to win. You said it, part of a champion. Class prevailed, but man, this was not easy. Remember, the only other time she'd run against Gunsong, she crushed her by 24 lengths.
She's made everything look so easy, aside from the defeat by a champion against the boys, trying to become the first female to win the Travers in 109 years. Everything else, there hasn't been a moment in any of those races where she looked like anything but a winner.
Yeah.
This crowd, you could sense it today. It felt like nervous energy of everybody watching the race unfolding. And wait a second, she may not have her A game. Can she still win this Cotillion with something less than?
Yeah, for sure. So Gunsong gets the jump on her. Tarifa's coming up on her outside. You got a speed horse in front. And is he going to find any place to run? But look, Brian is such a terrific, calm, cool rider. He never panicked. He said, I know what I have, but I can guarantee you when they came around that far turn, he's thinking to himself, I don't really like this situation too much. But nevertheless, she found a way to win. This is not going to be the kind of number she's been running. But you know what? In the bottom line, 4th Grade 1 win of the year, 3-year-old filly champion. Be interested to see what. I assume Kenny will go to the distaff next, take on the older fillies.
That was a question. She had faced the boys once at 1.25 miles in the Travers. If she blew them out today, would the Classic be a conversation? The plan all along has been the distaff, the most prestigious race for older fillies and mares in the country. But first things first, and a chance to appreciate this filly and this crowd here in Bensalem. They appreciate greatness. We sensed it with California Chrome 10 years ago. How important Smarty Jones was to everybody here associated at Parks, and what this filly has meant to racing and performing in the most prestigious race for 3-year-old fillies, one of the biggest races at Parks every year.
You love to see a star in whatever sport you're in, and this is the biggest star in horse racing, and it was awesome to see her here at Parks today. And there's Kenny and Brian and the crew in the winner's circle.
And Bruce Casella, screen right.
Yeah, how about that, Bruce Casella in the winner's circle?
Big sigh of relief from Team Torpedo Anna, Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez. She had to work, she had to fight, but she claws her way to the wire to score in the Grade 1 Cotillion. Results, reaction as our coverage continues from Parks. Dust settling following that stirring edition of the Grade 1 Cotillion. Not the way she's been winning against 3-year-old fillies, but another Grade 1 victory. Torpedo Anna, huge effort. Gunsong, bang-up effort to finish 3rd. Tarifa, but too much of Torpedo Anna in the Grade 1 Cotillion. Ridden by Brian Hernandez, trained by Kenny McPeak. Standing by with Maggie in the winner's circle.
Here with Team Torpedo Anna. And Brian, I'm going to put you on the spot. You said to me just now, well, she overcame me today. What happened out there? Because we didn't see her usual, flaunting that style and opening up by lengths. Today, she just won by half a length.
Yeah, today she had the target on her back, so they were all gunning for her, and we were in a couple compromising positions the whole way around there, and it was just one of those deals where she had to work a little harder today, just because we had to work really hard to get out of a couple of tough spots, and when she finally seen some clear daylight at the head of the lane, she showed how good she is. She overcame her tough trips, and she overcame my decision making, but she just showed what a great filly she is.
You guys are fun to watch, that's for sure. As Kenny said, I have a little bit of trepidation about shipping into a track she's never been over before. Did that kind of tax her a little bit, getting over this track for the first time?
Yeah, it seemed to. The track today seemed a little deeper than tracks she's run over in the past, but
and a testament to her, it just showed how good she is because she was able to, with a racetrack she didn't particularly care for today, she was still able to overcome it and get the job done.
It's been such a wonderful time watching you and her on the racetrack. And Kenny, one final question from you to sew it all up. As you said to me, it's 6 weeks to the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah.
Distaff?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a no-brainer, the distaff. Yeah, that was a little, well, that was probably everything that could go wrong did go wrong there. We talked about trying to stay inside, and I think down the backside, somebody, I can't remember who was on the lead, but they hustled a little bit, and Brian gave up the inside, and then he got in the box. And that's what we were worried about. But, you know, she overcame it, and just a real special filly to be around. And I love the fact that he never even laid a stick on her. You know, Henig's horse ran fantastic. I mean, he had a race over the track, which was the one I was worried about, and she ran another big race.
She's just been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing her with us.
Pleasure.
Torpedo Anna, well on her way to becoming a champion, Lafitte.
Murphy's Law, according to Kenny McPeak. What could go wrong did go wrong, and she still wins. Dick, maybe it's because we watched the Smarty Jones documentary last night and reliving his Belmont Stakes and what was happening up the backstretch and the heat being turned up by Rock Hard 10 and Eddington.
Yep.
All that took some of the starch out of him late. I felt that's what I was thinking when they were rounding the far turn, and you can tell the other riders were starting to team ride the favorite a little bit, Torpedo Anna.
Yeah, very much so. And look, you had two of the smartest riders in the history in the situation, and Brian was blaming himself. I don't think he was the problem. I think you just had smart riders who knew who the horse to beat was. So you got Johnny Velasquez. Remember that Kenny had talked about, we want to get ahead of that horse, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it because Johnny just kept him locked in there. And then on the far turn, when she's trying to get out, who comes up on her outside on Tarifa? Flavian Pratt. He knew who, and that's why Brian was in such trouble. It wasn't his fault. It was just circumstance, which does happen. And look, the riders were smart. They knew who the horse to beat was. But when she got clear sailing, you could see Lafitte at the 8th pole. She was going to win because she just has that determination that only the great horses have, like we saw at the end of the Travers. She had to dig down like she did then. Was this her best race? No. It was her worst race of the year, and she still won. That tells you something about how good she is.
And Brian Hernandez, a class act. He did the live interview right after the Travers. You know how gut-wrenching of a defeat that was in the moment, and still willing to take the questions, wanting to take responsibility, even though I didn't get the sense he did, as you mentioned, that it was anything he did wrong, just other jockeys doing things right to compromise Torpedo Anna. And just like we discussed with Ben Tornado, really good horses. That's class when they win, when the table isn't set, when they have to overcome adversity. She did so today and racks up yet another, a 4th Grade 1 victory in the Cotillion. We turn the page in a completely different feel going into the Pennsylvania Derby than the Cotillion, where the Cotillion, it was all eyes on a particular star. The Pennsylvania Derby, very good 3-year-olds. The Preakness winner, perhaps the class of the field, the 8-5 favorite, but this race much deeper and more competitive than, say, the Cotillion on paper at first glance.
Yeah, for sure. This is much more up for grabs, and you can see how the betting is. Unmatched Wisdom's the second choice at 5-2. Dragon Guard, who was the morning line favorite, is 4-1 in the early betting. We got a long way to go. We got 35 minutes to the race.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. So with Torpedo Anna going to the distaff, staying with the girls, this race could have Breeders' Cup Classic implications. It's a $7 million race at the end of the season. Championships are decided very often. Horse of the Year is decided. We watched Bayern win here about a decade ago. He would go on to capture the Breeders' Cup Classic. So potentially a springboard towards North America's richest horse race, which was part of a theme earlier in the program when we saw the world's best marathoner on dirt. His name is next. He does not lose. He pulverizes his competition, and he successfully defends, Dick Girardi, his Greenwood Cup title by many.
Well, he won by 25 lengths last year, Lafitte. This is going to be a mere 10-length win. This is just
they almost beat him today.
Yeah, they almost beat him. They got within 10 lengths. Next is his last 6 starts. He's won by a combined 90 lengths.
That's insane.
This horse is just a freak show. He ran the last quarter mile in like 24.60, which is ridiculous for a horse who's just run that far and still was flying at the end. He's one of the coolest horses anywhere. Love watching Next run.
Another victory. Next, Maggie, you spoke with his trainer, Doug Cowens, right after the victory. So what's next for Next?
He has that name that lends itself well to a lot of good throws. But Doug Cowan saying that, yes, he's remiss that the TAA marathon race, Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance marathon race, is no longer. They've replaced it with a 2-year-old turf race going a mile. So he's left between the choice of the Breeders' Cup Classic or the Breeders' Cup Turf, which is contested over the 1.5-mile distance. He is leaning to the turf, ironically enough, because for him, it's not about the surface, but more so about the distance. And what he has told me throughout this horse's career is it's all about getting next into a rhythm. And with the 1.25 miles of the Classic, he's afraid that going 23 and 47, that this horse would get too keen and expend too much energy early on in the race. So he's going to lean to the Breeders' Cup Turf, Lafitte. We'll see how he handles the green stuff under his feet.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see next among the world's best long-distance turf race in the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. Meantime, the Pennsylvania Derby, that gray colt, he's fast, he's tough, he's a classic winner, sees the gray, sees the moment this spring in the Preakness, the one to catch on paper in the Pennsylvania Derby. What a day of thoroughbred racing. Biggest every year in the Commonwealth. Welcome back, Parks Casino and Racing. Headline event is next, Grade 1, Pennsylvania Derby. Updated odds as you were looking at Duck Sullivan, the New York bred, sees the gray, who is the current favorite at 9-5. The Preakness winner sees the gray. A massive part of this story is trainer Dwayne Lucas, counted out so many times, only to silence his critics time and time again. On the third Saturday in May, Sees the Gray gave Lucas his 7th Preakness and 15th victory in a Triple Crown event. He watched stoically from the Pimlico Terrace as the colt, sent off in 9-1, seized the lead at the start and never gave it up.
Sees the Gray! Oh, Hammock Torres seized the day!
When you win the first one or two, you think it's you. You get all puffed up and you think, man, I trained the Preakness winner. When you win after that one, your mind shifts to, I just did something that made a lot of clients happy in that case. So I get real relaxed. I watch their reaction. I see what's going on around me and everything. Now we're doing Sees the Gray. I think he's right on his game. I have no excuses today. I have no excuses for him at all. I'm comfortable right where we're at. He's not one-dimensional. He can do pretty much what we want to do. We'll take a look at what happens and how the gate unfolds, and I feel good about him.
Will Take Charge was nowhere in the 2013 Triple Crown races, but Lucas always believed in the horse who won the Travers. Came here to Parks to win the Pennsylvania Derby, nearly won the Breeders' Cup Classic, and was named 3-year-old champion.
It's the Travers winner, Will Take Charge. He comes from off the pace, and look at Will Take Charge.
Anytime you can come back where you won one that big and everything, I really enjoyed it here. I enjoyed the Will Take Charge whole scenario of what happened there, and I'm looking forward to it again.
Lucas is closing in on 5,000 career wins and $300 million in career earnings. He once won 6 consecutive Triple Crown races with 4 different horses. He won the 2024 Preakness 44 years after he won his first, or in his case, half a lifetime ago. Who could have imagined all this back in 1980?
When you have a passion for something, you eliminate all the excuses. And I have a passion for the game, top to bottom. You'll stay up late. You'll drive 11 hours from Louisville to get here. You'll go without lunch. It's been a hell of a ride for me, and it's far gone beyond the material gains that have happened. It's more now. I love it to be competitive. I like to get in the main arena with these guys.
Lucas, who turned 89 on Labor Day and celebrated by winning a race on closing day at Saratoga, just bought 18 yearlings at the Keeneland Fall Sale. He is absolutely certain he has live 2-year-olds for the 2025 Kentucky Derby.
I'm afraid to retire. I think that I'll get old too quick. I think that if you get on that sofa, and that sofa pulls at you too. I've got a pair of clients or two now that I really enjoy being around, and they're not concerned about my age, and so why would I be?
In a world of pessimists, Dwayne Lucas is what he always has been, the eternal optimist, certain the next big horse is just waiting for him to find. And for decades, he's found them. Included Seize the Great. Pictured on his way over for the Pennsylvania Derby, D. Wayne Lucas, Dick. 89 and already planning for the 25-26 Kentucky Derby and beyond.
It's just so cool. And look, we did the Bruce Casella and I did that interview with Wayne on Wednesday, and look, he's 89, but he's just as sharp, and you just heard it as ever. He's just phenomenal. He's the coach, one in a lifetime.
To do it at the highest level for that,
still
44 years in between his first Preakness win and his most recent with that Gray Colt. What will Seize the Great do this afternoon in the Pennsylvania Derby? Has not won since the Preakness Stakes. The handicappers are locked in. They like him. Currently 2-1. Now the second choice, getting close to the post time, the Grade 1 $1 million Pennsylvania Derby coming up. The 3-year-olds on their way over for the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. Seize the Great Preakness winner at 2-1. We check in with the Maniac.
All right, guys, we're just outside the winner's circle. I'm here with 3 lovely ladies and a wee little lad, and I'm going to go over here to Aunt Terry.
Hello, everybody. So this is Donica, and this is Donica's first race. He's come the whole way from Ireland to the Pennsylvania Derby.
Unbelievable.
We're hoping he picks the winner.
We're hoping he picks a winner, too. And I'm going to talk to Mom over here. Mom, you say you guys come here all the time.
Yes, we've been here a few times. We weren't here last year, but the rest of the family were all here. This may be our 5th year coming. Yeah, 5th year coming.
And what do you think of the crowd here, Ann?
It is fantastic. This is the biggest crowd we've seen in quite a while. It's wonderful, wonderful.
It's a wonderful setting here at Parks Racing, Ben Salem. You still got time. Come on down and come meet Donica here. It's his first race ever, and he's picking winners all day long. So we'll throw it back to you, Lafitte, and all the guys, and we'll get ready for this next one.
From Ireland to Ben Salem for the Pennsylvania Derby.
That's impressive.
Unreal. As we get closer to post time for the Pennsylvania Derby, wanted to take a moment to congratulate you, Dick, on an incredible achievement. You have to, just for sitting with me for a couple of hours, you know, on this Saturday every September should be deserving enough. But a terrific honor. Last winner, you were named to the Joe Hirsch Media Roll of Honor. What did that mean to you?
It meant a ton, and that's Friday of Labor Day weekend. I was up with my family. You saw him in the picture there a minute ago, getting that award. You saw Jay Pribman, our good friend, in the picture there, and yeah, it was something because look, my mentor Andy Byers was in it. Andy Byers was in it 10 years ago, and to see all my friends in it. Jay's been in it for a couple of years now. Jay Hovde, another great friend, so it's a very cool deal.
This is always fun, Dick. Along with the great racing, it's the induction in the newest members of the Hall of Fame here at Parks.
Absolutely, every year. This is Jack Lamar. He was the original announcer when this racetrack opened on November 4th, 1974. We're coming up on anniversary number 50. Precise, smooth, hardworking, and his most famous call was the '86 PA Derby with Broad Brush. And here's Ruby Blue. How about this? 100 lifetime starts. 23 wins, 18 seconds, 18 thirds, just shy of $1 million. 78 of his starts were right here at Parks. And Rich Romano, the Director of Broadcasting Operations here at Parks, came here a year out of college 3 decades ago and never left. One of the most innovative and talented people here at the racetrack and a huge part of what we are doing here today, and he's absolutely respected by everybody.
He lent me his laptop when I left my computer back in LA when I came out for the Pennsylvania Derby about a decade ago. We check in with Danny in the winner's circle.
Thanks, guys. I'm here in the winner's circle with Donnie Brown, the owner and breeder of Ruby Blue, who's going to be inducted into our Parks Racing Hall of Fame. Ruby touched the lives of many owners and trainers here with 23 wins out of 100 starts. First of all, tell us what he means to your family and what this recognition is.
Well, a lot. It's never been boring because he was just such we call him a war horse, but year in and year out, month in and month out, he was always running, so we got to follow him, and through the years we developed, because of him, a lot of good connections. The different trainers and jockeys and owners that have had him all stayed in touch, always called and wanted to talk about him or what they know about him, and just through the years he's been a great connection source for us and a source of pride.
Well, we all love him. Congratulations on the big induction, and Ruby Blue, one of a lifetime PA bird, that's for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Congratulations to all the newest members of the Parks Hall of Fame. as we hand things over to Kane Callis with the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Incredible job, Kane Callis. I guess great pipes, great voices, just running the family.
Son of the great legend in this town, Harry Callis, who called the Phillies games forever and ever. Look, we just talked about some awards, Lafitte. Everybody needs to know that this summer you were voted by your peers in the National Turf Writers Association broadcasters. Career excellence in broadcasting. You will get that award Breeders' Cup week in Del Mar, and nobody, my friend, deserves it more than you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dick. Yeah, it's like the Oprah Winfrey show. And you get an award, and you get an award. It means a lot. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Dick. And the Pennsylvania Derby just around the corner. Maybe Brad Cox will get an award. He's won Eclipse Awards, right? He's won some of the biggest races on the planet, Breeders' Cup races. He's won a Pennsylvania Derby, trying for another. With the morning line favorite, number 7, Dragoon Guard, 7-2, looking for a 5th straight victory. Arrives with momentum, razor sharp. Riders up, post-parade, Pennsylvania Derby coming up.
Crown has led every step of the way. Can he take them home? There's a 16th left to go. Saudi Crown on the outside, Dreamlike flying, but it's a coronation for Saudi Crown in the Pennsylvania Derby. He gets the win over Dreamlike, and a photo for the show.
In the slop, in the cold, Saudi Crown, wire to wire last year's Pennsylvania Derby. Dragoon Guard, Dick, same trainer, same jockey, same color. Not the same talent yet.
Not yet. Same running style, though, right? He's going to try to take this race wire to wire, similar to Saudi Crown did last year. As you said, Brad Cox, Florent Giroux. Florent, for my money, is the best front-running rider in the country. He is great when he gets out there on the lead. There's no question what they're going to try to do. That's how they've been winning. And here he is in the West Virginia Derby at Mountaineer Park, his most recent when he won the Indiana Derby, and then he won the West Virginia Derby. Here he is. Not easy to miss. He's the gray horse. He's out there.
Big lumbering colt, right? And in command from Jump Street, but he doesn't look like one of these twitchy horses that just bolts out of the gate and has to be in front. How do you think he will respond if denied the lead early, given on paper there are other faster horses in the race?
Right,
he's the gray among them.
Yeah, that is the unknown. How will he react? And maybe he'll react fine. Maybe he's just going to get better. And some horses actually like to have a target. We shall see how it plays out. Here's Unmatched Wisdom, the 7th.
Dragoon Guard there. Here's Unmatched Wisdom, and how will he respond to the first loss of his career? He went into the Travers, a buzz horse, 3 for 3. He won the Curlin Stakes at Saratoga, and always highly regarded. Trainer Chad Brown thought very much right after his first career win, like, this is a Travers horse. He made it to the Travers. Things didn't work out in the Midsummer Derby, though very impressive in the Curlin early on in the Saratoga meet.
If he can run back to the Curlin, he's going to win the race. Now, he got loose in the lead in that race, which is probably not going to happen in this situation. Travers, whatever could go wrong, did go wrong. It was Murphy's Law.
I was right there. Saw a little bit of that in the Cotillion. We'll see what happens in the Pennsylvania Derby. Check in with Maggie in the paddock. What are you seeing, Maggie?
Yeah, your favorite, Dragoon Guard. I know a lot of sharp handicappers are against him, and I get it. Is he going to be able to run the same race if he doesn't get the easy lead that he's had in his last 4 efforts? But physically looking at this horse, he's dominant. This is a big, strong, strapping colt that is bouncing on his toes, full of energy, everything you want to see from a horse that projects to be forward. So he's definitely looking the part. We'll see if he shows it on the racetrack. Moving on to his main rival, right to his outside is number 8, Unmatched Wisdom. Now, something that doesn't often happen in horse racing happened last time to Unmatched Wisdom, and that's that a hind wrap actually came off of him. So when they headed down the backside in that Grade 1 Travers, another horse clipped into him, kind of loosening the bandage, and then as he ran down the backside and approaching the half-mile pole, it came unraveled. That can be a dangerous situation. A horse could trip, so therefore Arad Ortiz just kind of easing up on him, playing it safe. But before that, he was impressive in winning the Curlin Stakes. He's another horse that his best effort came on the front end, but his trainer, Chad Brown, has stated multiple times that he's a horse that doesn't mind rating and having a target to run at. Number 4, Timeout, a horse I'm interested in, finished 3rd in that Curlin behind Unmatched Wisdom. He's such a good-looking type, and he's a horse that continuously stays on in his races. He's a kind of a grinding, galloping type. He looks phenomenal, but he was a little unsettled saddling, which I don't usually see from him, Lafitte.
He can close. Timeout, and so can this gentleman. Brad Lidge with Riders Up for the Pennsylvania Derby.
Philadelphia, you are the greatest sports fans on the planet. You guys ready to get this party started? Let's do it. Riders Up!
How it's done.
Very impressive by the closer.
Brad Lidge in 2008, literally automatic, literally perfect, Dick.
48 tries at a save in regular season, playoffs, World Series. 48 for 48.
Unblemished. Part of that championship team. Great work, Brad Lidge. He'll be joining us on set. Charlie Manuel with us for the Cotillion. And Riders Up indeed.
And Brad threw the last pitch of that World Series. Beat the Tampa Bay Rays right down South Philly. You'd be riding right by there, Citizens Bank Park, on your way to the airport.
I did. It was a drive from D.C. a couple of days ago, and past the stadium the Commanders play at. I passed the Ravens Stadium, and right here as well, the Lincoln. Coming in 5 states, 3 stadiums. A pretty, you know,
what a thing.
Just another Thursday en route to cover another Pennsylvania Derby. Riders Up. And we'll start with Doc Sullivan, drawn inside the New York bred. Currently 18-1. Do not sleep on this colt.
He's first or second in his last 8, but you mentioned the key word, mostly against New York breds. Now he's an open company. Is he going to be competitive enough? Jose Ortiz, 200 wins this year. He's on a roll. He's number 4 in the country.
Sees the gray for D. Wayne Lucas, Preakness winner on paper, anticipated pace setter.
And the rider Jamie Torres rode here at Parks last year, had 44 winners at Parks. Most recently won the Ellis Park title with 21, and obviously he gave him a great ride to Preakness.
Lonesome Boy, Washington bred, he's quick.
He is. He's a long way from home here, as you said, in Washington. Is here with Hugo Padilla, who's 4th in the Wood Memorial at 80-1. Jockey Adam Bowman, a local favorite.
Timeout, world-class connections and breeding.
He's by Curlin, and he was 3rd in the Curlin Stakes, which is cool. He only made his debut, Lafitte, back on April the 3rd, so he's come a long way in a very short amount of time.
Protective, world-class connections and breeding.
Finally won his maiden. He was 3rd in the Wood Memorial. He finally won his maiden at Saratoga August 21st at 1-20.
Just step on it, 2nd in the local prep to Smarty Jones.
And shared the barn with Seize the Grays, a New York bred. Lou Linder was nice enough to give Wayne, hey, you want to stall in my barn? Come on in.
Philly exiting the local prep did pretty darn well in the Cotillion. Dragoon Guard, the morning line favorite. Maggie loved what she saw.
Yeah, again, he's loose on the lead, but I think he's going to have company today. Neck from being unbeaten. He's got a full brother that runs here at Parks, Auden. He's 0 for 11.
Unmatched Wisdom. Ignore the Travers, a mess start to finish.
Yeah, expect a much more aggressive ride. Flavien Prat was on him for all his wins. He didn't ride him. He rode Sierra Leone in that race. He'll be back on Unmatched Wisdom today.
Co-favorite 5-2 Unmatched Wisdom. Then who's the king to the outside? Hall of Famer Mike Smith looking for a 4th win in the Pennsylvania Derby.
Yeah, West Coast, McKinsey, and Taba, but this is not that. This is a late supplement. They put up 1,500 to get in the race.
Uncle Heavy, deep closer. Look out for him late.
Butch Reed, he's had $3 million horses go over that mark this month, including earlier today with Smooth Beast, trying for another one.
West Coast Invader, Stronghold, Grade 1, Santa Anita Derby winner, tough post.
Yes, for sure. The 11 post, middle move in the Kentucky Derby, looked like he had a chance to win it.
Trained by Phil D'Amato, Stronghold, standing by live with Maggie.
It's a pleasure to see Phil here on the East Coast and sending out Stronghold kind of second off of that Derby layoff. Phil, we saw him in the Indiana Derby against the favorite Dragoon Guard, who got the run of the race. Talk a little bit about the trip there at Indiana.
Yeah, he broke on top, and I think, you know, Antonio tried to put him in good position there, and we just kind of guzzled him, and you know, he was just kind of, you know, checking off heels the first half of the race. Then he kind of found his stride, but by that time, Brad's horse was long gone. And you know, the good thing is I don't think that race took a lot out of him. We shipped him back home, you know, gave him a little extra time. This was always our plan to hit this race and then hopefully the Breeders' Cup.
Phil, how is he doing? How's he acclimated to Parks? I know he's been here for several days now.
Yeah, we shipped him in on Tuesday. He got a couple good gallop days in him here, and he seems to handle things okay. And just kind of got to overcome an outside post. But you know, the horse is very tactical. He gets out of the gate good usually. So hopefully Antonio can find good position.
Thank you so much for your time and best of luck here.
Thank you so much.
Phil D'Amato and Stronghold looking to get back on track, Lafitte.
Stronghold, second choice on the morning line, currently 6-1 in overlay, that tricky post position from the outside. Then you have number 6, Just Step on It, trained by Louis Lender, standing by live with Danny.
Yeah, I'm here with one of the local trainers, Lou Linder. You're going to step out, send out Just Step on It. And he certainly showed he deserves to be here today. Had a nice second in the Smarty Jones. Jose Lezcano is back aboard. What's the plan?
I'll leave it up to him. So much speed. We don't need to lead. But if he's up there, you know, on an easy pace, then that's okay too.
What would it mean to get a win like this here at your home track?
That's what we dream about, so it'd be nice. We're fighting above our weight a little bit, but I think he's ready for his best effort.
Well, the home team's all rooting for you. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Speaking of the home team, now joined by Brad Lidge on set. Brad, great job with Riders Up. I got to ask, like, personally, what was more exciting, like striking out Eric Hinsky to win a World Series or calling Riders Up for a Pennsylvania Derby?
This was a very close second, but yeah, you know, I definitely missed that action. But this is nice, and I'll tell you what, I've been fortunate to talk to Jason Worth and a few others about the adrenaline and excitement that comes from this as well. So for me, this wasn't quite there, but it's getting closer.
Brad, we had Charlie on the set a little while ago. Go back to 2008. I was one of many Daily News staffers that night for Game 5. I timed the last inning when you're pitching the top of the ninth, 10 minutes. What were those 10 minutes like for you?
Oh, man, thrilling. Truly, you know, it's... you know, trying to get back into that mindset and think about it. I mean, there was just so much adrenaline and knowing kind of what's at stake and what's on the line, and at the same time pushing it out of your mind and just trying to execute pitch by pitch. But it was a pretty intense 10 minutes, that's for sure.
I don't want to screw up the number. 48 for 48, I believe, and close it. And can you describe the level of confidence every time you took the mound in the ninth inning that season?
Yeah, it's a great question and kind of way to think about it, because for me, every time I took the mound, I did feel more confident. And then knowing that even if I gave up a hit, our defense would pick me up, like, that was huge. So I just felt like I could, you know, attack the hitters, go right after hitters, and whatever happened, our defense would come through. And so, you know, I just felt that way more and more and more as the season went on, and then it just became something that it almost, I mean, it never felt automatic, but it almost kind of felt automatic.
Brad, you've had an interesting life after baseball. Tell people what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I'm going to be entering into a PhD program for archaeology, and I'm actually doing that out in Italy, and been taking part in excavations for the last 7, 8, 9 years, and having a blast doing that. Yeah, it's been a passion of mine for a long time. I didn't know that I'd get as involved with it as I am when I retired, but it's been something that I've just loved doing, and my family can do it with me, so it's been great.
Excellent.
Archaeology, and just a heads up, Jason Worth will be contacting you and trying to get you involved with horse ownership. I promise.
I know.
I promise.
No
Great
doubt.
stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it, Brad.
Appreciate it.
Brad, thanks very much, pal.
It's good to see you guys.
Yes, sir.
Brad Lidge joining us on set. Success at the highest level. And same can be said for the coach, D. Wayne Lucas, 89 years old. His 7th Preakness win this spring with Seize the Gray. Pictured the Gray on paper, the fastest horse on paper, anticipated pace setter. Feels like a statement race, Dick, for Seize the Gray here, not having won since the Preakness.
Yeah, look, he could get back into the conversation, right? If he's for three-year-old champ, you win the Preakness of the Pennsylvania Derby. That's 2 Grade 1s. Maybe Wayne just says, look, maybe he just didn't like Saratoga. Of course, he trains over at Oklahoma on the training track, and when he came over to the main track to run, it just didn't work. But if he runs back to his Preakness, remember that was a sloppy track, a different situation here. He's got the best number in the race. He's the only one with a triple-digit buyer.
Jamie Torres rode Seize the Gray in that Preakness victory. When he first learned he was going to ride for Dwayne Lucas for the first time, Seize the Gray in a maiden race at Saratoga. He said he couldn't sleep the night before. He was so excited to do so.
Yeah, and look, Wayne gave him a chance that nobody else had given him, right? His only 2 stakes winners are on stakes wins are on Seize the Gray.
On board with Antonio Frisu, jockey of Stronghold. Antonio can't be thrilled when he looks into the gate, looks to his left, and sees 10 other 3-year-olds to his inside.
Yeah, and Antonio's had a great 2-year run in Southern California.
Yeah, he has.
He's never ridden here. Trainer has never had a horse here before, but they're here, and they're 5-1.
Flavien Prat, the jockey who won 7 Grade 1 events at Saratoga. A record-setting 18 stakes wins this summer at Saratoga. He's on the favorite, Unmatched Wisdom. What does he want to do early on?
Yeah, it's fascinating because whatever he does is probably going to be the right thing because he doesn't make many mistakes. He's going to want to be close. The question is, can he beat the other speed horses at the front? Does he want to do that? But again, this is the race within the race, this first 100 yards.
What an event. What a race. Grade 1 $1 million Pennsylvania Derby. It's post time. Here's Jessica Paquette.
And now they're all in. Off and racing in the Vet Parks Pennsylvania Derby, and a flawless beginning for this field of 11, and hustling right out of the gate. Just step on it. Seize the Gray, the Preakness winner. Unmatched Wisdom, he's going to be heard from early. Stronghold's up to join them as well. Lonesome Boy, he's settling into 5th. They make their way into the first turn. Seize the Gray now has the lead to the outside. Just step on it, keeping him company. Unmatched Wisdom being fanned a bit wide in between horses. Lonesome Boy, Who's the King, had to check up on heels, and it's Stronghold followed by Dragoon Guard. Big Ray, he's now into 5th. Then it's back to Timeout to the outside. Uncle Heavy in between horses, Protective and Doc Sullivan, the early trailer. They make their way through the first turn, 23-4 for the opening quarter. Seize the Day, company to the outside, just step on it. Unmatched Wisdom is about 11.5 off in 3rd. Then Lonesome Boy, he's in 4th. Stronghold 5th. Dragoon Guard, Uncle Heavy in between horses. Who's the King to his inside. Timeout, it's Protective, and still Doc Sullivan. He can see them all. They continue on down the backstretch. 49-1 for the half, and Seize the Gray. It's put some daylight between his rivals. Dragoon Guard sneaking up the rail. He's improving with every stride. Seize the Gray has the lead with less than a half mile left to go. They go into the far turn. Seize the Gray, Unmatched Wisdom. He takes the first swing. He's in 2nd. Dragoon Guard's in 3rd. Stronghold continues his ascent. He's in 4th, and Uncle Heavy making a big run from mid-pack. They go around the far turn. Seize the Gray has the lead. Unmatched Wisdom and Stronghold continue to come on the outside. Uncle Heavy, the Pennsylvania bred, running a huge race today. Seize the Gray has the lead on the outside. Stronghold, Dragoon Guard coming off the rail. In the Pennsylvania Derby, it is anyone's race. It's Seize the Gray, game on the lead. The outside, Stronghold continues to fight on. Dragoon Guard not getting there. 16 left to go. And Seize the Gray, he's going to seize the day in the Pennsylvania Derby. Seize the Gray gets the win. Far up for 2nd between Dragoon Guard and Stronghold. Uncle Heavy ran huge to be 4th.
That's what it means for a rider to win a Pennsylvania Derby. Jamie Torres fired up. Seize the Gray, the Preakness winner, turns back all challengers in a 2nd Pennsylvania Derby win for the coach, Dwayne Lucas.
11 years after the first with Will Take Charge, which was your first time here with me, Lafitte. Here Seize the Gray horse on the inside. He's getting a giant challenge here in the stretch, but he ends up pulling away. And what a thrill this has to be for young Jamie Torres, who was here basically unknown, running at Parks just last year. He comes back to the track where he started to make his name, and he wins the biggest race in the state. And Dwayne does it again. Unbelievable.
My racehorse winning owner, Jamie Torres, owners, thousands of them. Winning trainer, Dwayne Lucas with Maggie.
Getting his Grade 1 again. Seize the Gray. As we saw Coach Coach, Jamie Torres put him on the front end. This is what this horse wants to do.
I told him to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I said, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but listen to this.
He's popular, being a My Racehorse.
Yeah, I thought when he got to 49 fraction that, you know, we had a great chance to finish it. The track's a little deep, but he's trained so well lately. Since that, you know, that debacle up in Saratoga, he's just been a different horse.
His weight looks incredible. Coach, we saw you celebrate your 89th birthday a couple weeks ago. You still prove day in and day out that you are a master of this game.
Thank you. Well, I bought 18 yearlings at Keeneland, so I'll be 92 when they run.
Keep it up.
I'll be here at 92 and you will get together.
Sounds like a date. Coach, go get your picture taken here.
And we'll be right here enjoying every moment of it. Seize the Gray. You're in the cockpit of the runner-up. Stronghold. Take a look at this. Antonio Friso comes up to Seize the Gray. Looks like he has him collared. Friso has to be thinking it's only a question of how far I'm going to win this Pennsylvania Derby.
And he had the much tougher trip of the two. Stronghold ran a phenomenal race, but as Wayne just said, you put a horse with Seize the Gray's talent on a lead in those kind of fractions, it's going to be hard for him to beat him. And he's pulling away here at the finish. And Wayne, by the way, got a $50,000 bonus just to show up and run in the race for winning the Preakness. Well, he just got another $60,000 for winning it.
That'll work. It all comes together. My Racehorse. You heard the chant, Seize the Gray. Seize the Gray. The Preakness winner turns back. The California Invader Stronghold. Jamie Torres. Dwayne Lucas. Seize the Gray in the Pennsylvania Derby. Much more to unpack. Hear from Winning Connections. The reaction following this thrilling Pennsylvania Derby. Too much class, too much speed, too much heart. And look at the celebration, a jubilant Jamie Torres back at Parks, back in the Parks winner's circle, but this time a Pennsylvania Derby winning jockey. The Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby has been brought to you by Parks Casino and Racing. This is how you win. And by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run. By the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. What a ride. And the Pennsylvania Breeders Association. Pennsylvania is the only place to breed and race. What a story. What an effort. Seize the Gray. You touched on something at the top of the broadcast. His sire, the late great Arrowgate. Fastest mile and a quarter in the history of Saratoga, having won that Travers. Lost him way too soon, having sired a Preakness winner, Seize the Gray, a Belmont winner, Arcangelo, a Kentucky Oaks winner, and now having sired a Pennsylvania Derby winner as well, and Seize the Gray. To Maggie and Danny for final thoughts. Your lasting impression from this Pennsylvania Derby, ladies.
Lafitte, Danny and I are jockeying for position out here on the racetrack. There are so many My Racehorse partners here on the track. But as you and I were just saying, it's so good to see jockey Jamie Torres get this win here. He was masterful in his Preakness victory, and he showed it again in this PA Derby.
He certainly did. I saw him walking in today, going up to that Parks Jocks room, and he started here, and you just knew there was something special about him. He's so hardworking. He's so humble, and I'm so happy for him, and this just has to feel so good.
Really validation for that Preakness win. We saw Stronghold take a good run at him, but this horse is so emboldened when on the front end.
Yeah, and you can see he really came into this race in great form, and that time off did him wonders, but Stronghold, he impressed me all week, and boy, did he show up.
Oh, it was such a fun PA Derby with everybody here. Jamie, saying hello to you. Lafitte, what a way to end this day.
By getting photobombed by a jockey who just won $1 million event, Jamie Torres. It's amazing how established what Dwayne Lucas was already doing in this sport when Jamie Torres, before he was born. And to see them team up and have this kind of success together at the highest level, not only in the Preakness, but here in the Pennsylvania.
And Wayne has done that for a lot of young jockeys over the years, made him famous. Well, he's helping Jamie Torres be famous now.
Final thought, quickly sees the grade now, looking ahead, Breeders' Cup Classic.
You know he's going. It's D. Wayne, and to see the Grade 1 runners win 1-2 is really cool for the PA Derby.
Pleasure as always, Dick.
Yes, sir.
Great stuff. Great day of racing here at Parks as the sun sets on this last day of summer. Ben Tornado would not be denied. Sensational in the Gallant Bob with star jockey Arad Ortiz. The filly, Torpedo Anna. Her fans were here. She had the work. She was tested and still prevails. A 4th Grade 1 victory, taking down the Cotillion. And moments ago, for Dwayne Lucas, Jamie Torres sees the grade, turns back all challengers to take down the Pennsylvania Derby. Have a great night, everyone.